Come into the room, family. Come into the room. Welcome. I am the H-Town Vet, and I'd like to welcome you to our channel, a place where we're going to discuss a variety of benefits available to veterans, active duty members, and their dependents. Come in, sit back and relax, and enjoy the live stream. And I appreciate y'all being, timely, getting here. First person in the room was Backwoods Law. Say evening, H-Town Vet. See in a couple of hours when y'all go live. Oh, that first in. It is 3:20 to live. Okay. 3 hours, 20 minutes to live. Listen. So we have everybody speaking. Just got back here myself. Family, y'all just coming on in, showing up and showing out. And I thank you for your kindness, your respect. You being here on time. H-Town ain't shaved. I'm going to get to it tomorrow. Hi, H-Town. It turns out Congress Department of Defense still screwing veterans, especially Navy. Yeah, I got some concerns about that myself because I'm worried. That's why we're going to be talking. We get to the news section. Y'all can give me little updates now. And our brother say sounds par for the course. We got to support our military members, It's very important for morale, for respect. It needs to be done. Now, it says, how Backwoods Law came in the back door, huh? He said, shh. Sometimes some things happen today I did not hear about. Okay. LOL, y'all coming into the room, Flex, man. Let's talk about it. Yes, after Desert Storm, Defense Department got rid of underway resupply ships, turn to port call for ships. When those are closed now, this war was totally effed up. Do they have food? Do the sailors on those ships, that ship have food? Anybody knows? I'm really concerned, because I got reports that some say, they were saying on the news, I don't know how true it is, sailors might be trying to jump off ships and stuff. The ship, let us know. Is it over? Are they over exaggerating? Have they been relieved yet? Oh boy, did not hear about that. Everybody in the room, make sure we don't miss anything. We're glad that you're here, family, and we appreciate your presence. Let's see. Better than having to show the one taking your blood how to do it at the VA. Wow. Done that a few times. If you got to show the person taking your blood how to take blood, that's concerning. What do they call that person that takes your blood at the VA? Phlebotomist, or what do they call them? Evening, H-Town Vet. Welcome to Backwoods Law. Then we have Benny in the room, says, hello, H-Town Vet and the chat family. Come on in here, family. Let's talk about it. Evening, H-Town Vet and the family from Jimmy Elmore. Then we have Jason, a.k.a. Minnie Monto. Minnie Monto says, hello, H-Town family. Yes, indeed. Neil Stepp says, and we knew you were having your procedure. Say, hello, family. Can only type with one hand, so I just be listening. Surgery went well. Good. Everybody show some encouragement and to our brother, Jimmy Elmore. You just sit back and relax. We know you here, brother. We know you need time to recover. Everybody show love. And our brother Charles and say, hey, Neil Stepp, great hope you men fast. Yes, indeed. Betty says, H-Town, hope you had a blessed Monday. I have. Good to hear. Yes, it is Backwood Law that Neil Step doing good. I'm glad to see Flex Man in here. Now, I've had shipmates crying and wanted to jump off too, but it didn't make the news. Wow. But these days, this S is news. Wow. Now listen. Now we got let me see here. Okay. We got Backwards Law. I was having kids that look like they barely out of junior high school taking blood. Wow. This is interesting. I'm trying to play catch up here, family. Say, yes, yes, yes. I was a cook in supply. We do. I hear you. Especially on an effing carrier. Yes, shipmate. I did the girls were so nice and knew their job at hospital. Okay. You say you knew, okay. Let's see. Now, Backwards Law says this. Was that standing on the top of that M1 in MOP tank, Commander? MOP 2, you already know. And guess what? What color do you think those uniforms were? What colors? Now remember, we're talking about Desert Storm. What color? What color you think that was, Backwards Law? Everybody speaking. Phlebotomist. Okay. Say vampire. Yeah, vampire. Y'all too much. And not talking to each other. Just make sure we didn't miss none of your comments. Say, if y'all buy this as that they are running low or out of food, y'all been had. I've never been on a ship. Tell me, what should we be concerned? Navy members that have been on an aircraft carrier or a battleship, submarine, should we be concerned about them running out of food? Why would they be saying it if it wasn't happening? Flex Man, they don't have enough supply ships. Okay, the fuel for JP 5/8 is from civilian contract tankers. No U.S. Navy run supply ships. Who's guarding them? I'm concerned. Huh? Then we have Backwards Law says those look like those old OD green MOP rags they gave us. And that's exactly what they are. That's an actual photo from Desert Storm. I don't think that's me because it don't look like me on the front of the tank. That's exactly what it is. Because we were in green uniforms until 2 days before 2 days before we got on the plane to come back. They want us to look nice. So I'm out there in the middle of a brown desert in green uniforms, sitting duck, right? Remember, that was the transition from jungle warfare or green warfare to brown or desert warfare. So they didn't have the uniforms when we went there. They gave some to I think the infantry, maybe the Marines who went in. Don't have enough supply ships. What? What about food? Cutbacks, 1995 base supply system reduction. Does that mean a reduction in food, Charlton? Now, LOL, I thought you busted out of the old Polaroid. Nah, I wasn't taking pictures over there. And I used to take pictures a lot. Somebody may have pictures of it, but I wasn't in the mood of taking no picture. I just thought that was I don't know. It really didn't come to mind to take a camera over there. That was, I don't think many of us took any cameras. We were just kind of, Navy has 2 submarine tenders. All personnel are civilian contractors aboard. Wow. So we got a lot of civilian contractors on Navy ships. What type of security clearance do they have to have? Let us know. I didn't have one either. Yeah. Let's talk about it, family. Now, family, thank you for joining us, and we appreciate you being here, showing the love. Last night, family, y'all did it up last night. We had about 500 views by the time we were done. Now, the record on how many views to have on one live stream by the end of it was like 1,100 views we had on one. And we didn't have that many slides on that one. That was the one we had when we talking about, silencing us and them. Can the Secretary of VA just change the M21 manual to, at will? But last night, family, that was wonderful. Yes, indeed. Hold on. Let me make sure we are straight here. All right. Oh, okay. That's what's going on. I saw a little stick in there. Testing. Nice. Say nice, H-Town vet. Congrats. Yes, indeed. I didn't have one either. What you didn't have? I forgot. Oh, the uniform. Now listen to what FlexMan says. And, oh, family, I just be hitting the wrong buttons. Glad I didn't close it out. FlexMan say, nah, bro, you do know we have our own stock of JP5/8, a few and available at any given time. You do know that, right? We have supplied vendors at strategic parts of the world. I know our supply department. Okay, everything sounds good. Let us check our sound, and we're going to get right back with you. Everybody show love to Novell coming in and said, good evening, everybody. Show love, family. We're going to check our. All right, back. We family back. We're glad you're here. Everybody showing love to Novell. As y'all come into the room, this is an impromptu live stream somewhat. We did tell you earlier. Our supply stock don't depend on some foreign country whim, LOL. I hear you. Eddie say, Betty says, hello, Novell. Glad to see you. Yes, indeed. FlexMan, back in my day, all supply on carriers was underway replenishment. What's underway replenishment? I don't know what that is. Did they bring y'all stuff on helicopters or on boats? I know VEP, what's that? Vertrip and pulling import. Okay. Now it's port calls. Now, family, let's get to it. Thank y'all for being here. We appreciate y'all for joining us. We honor all branches of the military, whether it be Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, and Space Force, whether you're active duty, reserve, or National Guard. Now, what is where they bring the big oilers up next to the carrier and top off their storage tanks? Is H-Town Navy? No, I'm Army. I'm in the Army. I was in the Army. I'm a veteran now. Oh, don't say I'm in the Army now. So, family, here everybody has a voice, as you can see. We love you, respect you. Say, LOL, no, H-Town, Northside is a tank commander. I know tank commander. I got a story about that, though. I got a story, okay? No, H-Town was a tanker army. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I got a story about that. Was I tank commander? Unofficially. Listen, family, let me tell you something. We have our live streams every Sunday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Central Time. We're gonna be doing one on Saturday, but there's no set time right now. Sometime it'll be around, how can I say? It'll be around, 9 to 10 a.m. Central Time. All right. And so please click on your notifications so you'll be notified, but also have them on so you'll learn about any live streams we got come up. Oh, okay. I thought you were Navy, LOL. I was like, how does he not know these Navy terms? Is H-Town on? What you mean am I on? Is everything going good? Now, if you're in the seat, if you're in the seat, your commander was my rule of thumb. Okay, well, I wasn't in the seat, but I was running the tank for a bit there. They want to promote me to they want to give me a battlefield promotion to sergeant. But this old dude didn't, I didn't have the complexion. He didn't like me, but 3 or 4 sergeants, about 3 sergeants recommended me. I really love your slides, man. Oh, you do? Thank you. Let me ask you, okay, y'all said that a few times. If those of you that like the slides, what do you like about the slides? Let us know that we present when we're doing the live streams. What do y'all like if it's not the slides? Thank y'all. Last night, y'all really donated, and we appreciate all the donations, whether that be by Cash App, whether that be by, let me see. Oh, let me get over here. So yes, indeed, whether it be by Cash App, and that's our Cash App number right behind us, right there. All right, if you want to get Cash App, there you go. For the what do you call it? The super chat and the coins y'all seeing. Thank you. So y'all love, what about the slides you like about it? What you like about them? Tell me what about the slides y'all like? Let us know. Okay, let's get back to this here. And we thank y'all, family. Y'all been so incredible. We're going to talk about it tonight. Now, I want to make some corrections. We did fun facts last night, and we got one that's going to stump a lot of you unless you've been here. Y'all might have forgot. We're going to do the fun fact. I adjusted. So we got what we call an update. I adjusted my VA claims process because y'all are really sharp, and there's some things that came to my mind that said I need to update it and make it clear. I move some of the numbers around, and y'all see what y'all think about it. Now it opens up the topic with real good optics. Okay, just blah blah blah, not just blah blah blah. So you saying, see, sometimes what I want to avoid is just come here talking. I don't want you to just depend on my talking, because I want people, if they even, let's say they can't hear, I want them to be able to see what we're talking about. So I want people to do passive listening. So if some people just can't read it, they can be listening while they're at work. So that's why I cover it. Come on now. I do both sides. I can boil shrimp and cuss. Huh? Listen, thank you for that. Now let us know. So I had a crusty old repair shop sergeant first class let me drive one of those M1 M1s in the yard. So he's talking about in the motor pool, in the motor pool yard. Stupid, easy to drive, and MP could do it, LOL. Yeah. So it has a throttle, and you turn it this way and it'll move either way, and forward it goes, back you can stop it. Right? Am I lying? You sitting down by yourself as the driver, there's 2 exit ways to get out. All right? 2 exit ways to get out. So everything good. Sound good. Everybody said 2 exit ways to get out of a tank. Number 1, outside, up under the main gun. They lift the main gun. This is the M1A1 tank, the driver come out. Or if you turn the turret to the back, then it's the opening is right there where the driver can come out that way. Family, we let me tell y'all something. We've been getting subscribers, and I thank you. I don't like saying some people started unsubscribing, I guess. Let me see how we doing on that. We've been doing good with subscribing. I want to thank y'all for that. We got like two or three today. Yeah, we got in the last day or so, we got 11 subscribers. That's a good thing. And the views, it was like 120 or 140 hours worth of view time after you watch the last video. I thank y'all for that. All right, let's see. We got to say sound is good. You say, oh yeah, lay on back base. Yeah, it's laying back like this here. You kind of on the tank, you kind of in the ease position like that. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the loader switch out with the driver so they'll have time, to come out and stretch and move around. Congrats on 3,000. Next milestone, 10,000. Oh, yes, indeed. Everybody show love to Brother James. Come on here. We about to talk about it tonight. Last night, we were 4.5 hours. Did we slow down? Family, did we slow down last night? Were we giving information from the start to the end? Huh? Come on. Everybody show love to James. Now, look who else can come up in here. Y'all don't get me started. I'm trying to be on my best Christian behavior. You understand? Listen, Bluebird say, good evening, y'all, and congrats on 3,000 subs. Yes, indeed, fam. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. We doing good. How long was it, Betty? 4 hours and 35 minutes, and we kept going over the information as necessary. Family, we were giving out information in the last minute for those of you wasn't able to stay here. I gave out the best. We say the best for last. Huh? Didn't we do it, family? Now, second cab was across the street from us. H-Town laid back gangster style. Yes, indeed. Was in the gangster lean. Listen, Backwoods Law say, I asked the cab, 3/4 cab first sergeant, if I could use one of the M1 tanks for patrol. Wow. What you know about that? Charleston said that. What you know about the gangster lean? Now, sister has half slept on her pillow. Was half asleep on her pillow. Oh, okay. Now, let's go over these facts. Family, H-Town, I want y'all to understand I had to do some adjustments on this. Not much, but we need to make it right when it deals with the claim process. So follow us here, fam. When it comes, before you submit a claim, go ahead and get the intent to file in, but you need to get everything organized, family, okay? So I've set the process. I haven't done away with any of the steps, but I wanted to clarify some things, okay? And I do this in my mind. That's how I'm able to come up with the visuals. So, family, what I did, I changed the what you're trying to do, the disabled veteran checklist, all right? You see that down there? I made it number 2. So let me explain why I did this. So the first thing, when you file a claim, you need to do is focus. That's number 1. That's the start. Focus at the bottom left. So what are you focusing on? First, you focus on submitting the intent to file so you can lock in whatever you want to claim for 1 year. Here's the issue. You have to submit everything on the same day. I suggest you do it on the same form so they don't come as a different day. This is if you're a veteran out of the military. Okay, focus on what you want to claim. Even if you're getting out on a board, you need to focus on what you want to claim. Who's going to represent you? Where's the office that you're going to submit your claim? Are you listening to me? You need to focus. What disabilities you're going to focus on? Okay? Then you need to look at this. Where are you at on the checklist? Is it a new disability that you have no diagnosis on? So first you need a diagnosis. Well, you need to try to get that diagnosis from the VA hospital or a private doctor before you get to dealing or while you getting to deal with the VA. Get the diagnosis before you go to the CMP exam. Sometimes they will allow you to go to a CMP exam without a diagnosis, but most time they will not. I've seen it happen. Now, so if you already got the diagnosis, try to get your nexus, or you can get the nexus done at the CMP exam. Okay, that's a connection between your military service and your injury or disability that you say arises out of your military service. This is on direct service connection, and it can work on presumptive also. Then let's say you already got the diagnosis. Let's say you're already service connected for it. You just filing for an increase on the severity level. That's the third part. You need these three components. I'm doing this from the layman side of the game. You need a diagnosis of the condition, connect that condition to your military service. We're on number 2 in the process. And then a measure of severity. If you don't have it, that's why you're going to do what? Whichever one you need evidence. That's number 3. What is the evidence? If you don't have a diagnosis, you need to get a diagnosis from a healthcare professional. All right? If they're able to give you a nexus or a connection between your military service and the condition based on the evidence, you can get them to do that. And you need a measure of severity. That's where the evidence come in, number 3. Okay? And if you have all 3 of them, the diagnosis, nexus, and severity level on number 2, that's called what is that called? If you have all the evidence you need for all 3, that's called a what? 3 words. What are the 3 words? What is it called? Put it in the chat, family. What is it called if you got everything you need to decide a claim? Somebody put it in the chat for us. Huh? That all the VA need to do is make the decision. You hand them, huh? You close. A well-prepared claim. What else they would call it? Boom, it moved. This is the word they use. Fully developed claim. Now, the VA is going to be the one decides whether it's fully developed or not you. Okay? So if you got everything on number 2, you can just go, and you got everything with the, you got the evidence in there, number 3. You got the law that backs it up, and you already got the exam, number 6, so you don't need to worry about number 6, or you saying you got it. So before they send you a CMP exam, you just submit it with the outside independent examination with all the evidence, all the VA law, and the doctor making a clinical medical opinion on the evidence that they reviewed, and they need to put it in the chart that they reviewed it. Next, let's say you didn't submit a fully developed claim. Okay? So remember, we start out by focusing on what we want to claim, who's going to represent us, whether it be a VSO, whether we do it ourselves, whether we have one of these claims companies, whether they're accredited or unaccredited. Who are you going to use on your next claim? If the VA call you in for a reevaluation, or you want to file a claim, let's say your claim is settled, but they call you in, or you want to get special monthly compensation, who are you going to get to help you right now? You let us know. So you focus on what you're claiming, what you're trying to do. You make sure you either have a diagnosis. You ask yourself, do I need a diagnosis? This is number 2. Do I need a diagnosis, a connection to military service, a nexus, or a severity level? You have to figure out where you at on the disabled veteran checklist. You have evidence to back up the diagnosis. Say, here's my doctor's diagnosis. Here's my problems list from the VA showing that I'm diagnosed with the condition. You can go get your problems list from the VA to do that. Then your nexus and the measure of severity, if a doctor have done that. We've changed our list, family, a little bit here. Then you get the evidence that backs it up. Your in-service personnel file, your private treatment records from outside. Wait a minute. Don't you be giving them all your private records from outside. You give them what's needed, because they might find some evidence. If you injured your back in the military, you give them your work records from a doctor, and they say, oh, but you was in a wreck while you were driving trucks 10 years after you got the military. So it wasn't because of the injury from the military. It was most likely from the injury that you had in the truck wreck. You watch what you give them. Is H-Town making sense? Now listen, watch what evidence you give them. back up with VA log. Now, once you got your stuff together, you submit your claim. Now, you submit your claim. If it's fully developed, you submit it with everything. But if you don't have an exam, you submit your claim and then wait on the examination. You say, but H-Town, what if they ain't give me the examination yet? H-Town here and gave you the right things to put out there. One, we showed you to ask for an update. That's number 7. Okay? We're going to go over coming up the do's and don'ts of exams again. Okay? But you ask for an update. I got a letter where you can ask for an update. If they haven't sent you to an exam yet, asking them when they will, you can get it. I have a letter. Use what claim? Tell us the number for the supportive claim form. You're going to request through the supportive claim form. That's what you do. Number 7, the update. All right. You don't just sit and wait. If it's been 4 or 5 months, no, you do about every 2 or 3 months, you ask for an update. So that shows your due diligence. Now let's see what we got. Now listen to what Brother Charles said. Yes, I learned Nexus evidence, medical evidence step from H-Town. Well, thank you. Thank you. And I learned it from someone else. I thought Nexus was a spaceship. What's up, H-Town family? Happy Monday. Yes, the next mission, y'all already showing him love. Now listen, say, one thing I do different is I let the CMP exam play out. That's what is their doctor that is saying it is not me. Now I'm going to get messy, family. If you already have a fully developed claim where you did an outside DBQ with a doctor, but the VA saying they want to still send you to their CMP examiner, have you ever been told not to go? Don't go to that exam if you already gave them a doctor to fill it out, independent DBQ. Do you go to the exam or not? Put yes or no in the chat. Say, go, don't go. Do you go to the exam? If you had a fully developed, you submit it to the VA. Do you go to the exam? Go, no, go, yes or no? Let us know. Go, do you go anyway? Or you don't go? Say, nah, I already gave you everything you need. What you do? What's up, everyone from One of One? Thank you for being here. Everybody show love. I've been running my mouth and they talking to each other. 100% permanent total has as of today. Everybody show congratulations for 101. Blessings have been coming through. 100%. LOSA. LOL, not just a harassing tank commander. Sub, okay. Makes sense. Okay. He was not triggered yet, though. Yeah. Everybody show congratulations to 101 with that 100% rating. Hello, 101. Yes, indeed. Congrats to 101. Yes, indeed. We have to praise our own. You understand? Oh, just saw that. Congrats, 101. Because other people, we tell civilians, hey, I got this here. They'll be like, okay. They won't, some may not be able to relate. Use the VSO to update one, updates others than online, other than hotline. Okay. Congrats, 101. Congrats, 101. Yes, indeed. Yes. All right. You'll go. You better, that's what Betty say. You better go to the CMP exam. Have you seen anybody online? You ain't got to say name. Have you ever seen somebody in person or online? Have anybody ever told you from an authority that purports to be knowledgeable about the claim process tell you not to go to the exam if you've already have a fully developed DBQ submitted in what you consider to be a fully developed claim? Have anybody ever tell you don't have to go? Always go, Flex Man say. Bluebird say always go. Y'all are blessing other people. Y'all, because some people won't go and they mess up their whole claim. Come on now. Come on now. Now we at number 5 to submit the claim, but I'm gonna come up on the screen because we gonna if you submit a fully developed claim number 5, but they still ask you to go to an exam and you've already got an exam you did, we saying whether you go or not to the C&P exam the VA asking you to go to. They telling us here right now. Let's see what the wisdom says. Most are saying you go. Now listen to what Backwoods Law say. You better go. That can be a denial right there if they burn your DBQ already. Or they say it's not sufficient. And who decides whether your independent DBQ is sufficient or not? You, the lawyers, the doctor that did it, or the VA? And they may not even explain to you why it's not sufficient. Hey, I just gave you all my medical evidence. I just gave you a nexus letter showing a connection between my military service. I gave you a diagnosis of the condition, a connection to the military service, and a measure of severity based on my doctor's report. But y'all say that still ain't good enough. I ain't going. That's what some people say. Jimmy Elmore say, always go to a C&P exam. And you can live to fight it later. And you can still use that report. Hey, I gave you a fully developed claim. And if the doctor at the C&P exam says no, but the DBQ independent that you did in the fully developed claim say that your condition is favorable decision, but the VA C&P is unfavorable, they're supposed to give you the benefit of the doubt or prove why the other one is not legit. Put that in your appeal. Live to fight another day. Please, have to go. What if they don't give you another C&P exam? Everybody show love to Jay Oliver, my brother from another mother on my daddy's side. Now look, go unless you don't want benefits. Woo, Benny just made it clear. What do you tell them if they come to you and say, but Benny? They say, Benny. But I was told by somebody I paid $2,000 to that I don't go to that because they didn't set me up with the right doctor. What if that doctor they sent you to is on a sharks list? Huh? What if they under investigation? What if they being sued? What if they file for bankruptcy? He said, congrats to 101 of 1. 101 received their 100% permanent total. We're showing love if you 101. Good night. Okay. Oh, have to go. Okay. You say have to go now, or you going to the C&P? If you got to go now, good night. Thank you all. Yes, indeed. We got to show love. Now listen. Novell say 101, congrats. It's a major life change milestone. Yes, it is. Family, we doing this together. Huh? H-Town just love to talk, don't it? But do I be saying something that makes sense? Hey, Dre, like Ice Cube say, hey, Dre, I got something to say. Now listen, Flexman, civilians would say, oh, I'm sorry, you're disabled, LOL. Yeah, they may not understand it. And they may not understand the struggle. Yes, I won't be a snitch. Come on now. Now listen what Flexman say. Sometimes it's nothing but a second opinion and not because they burned your DBQ. But they were supposed to give that, the one you did outside, hold on. Let me say this, the one you did independently, and the one they sent you to, they were supposed to consider the one you did, give it same weight. Now listen, the next mission, and it is different because the one you get done independently on the outside, they call it public DBQ, on the outside that you print off the internet, they ask things on that one that they don't ask your C&P examiner that they send, that the VA sets up. The one you go to an independent doctor, that DBQ that you print offline asks how many times have you seen that doctor? Huh? It asks if, what's the other thing it asks? How many times you seen the doctor? Are they your regular doctor, I think? Huh? And ask questions like that. It's on the first page. And they really sometimes want to know how far the doctor is from where you stay. Now listen, the next mission say, you've got a year to decide if they should have considered special monthly compensation 101. Come on now. Everybody show love to Benny Gio. There was 3, and they showed that 38 CFR. Okay, hello. Everyone from Benny. Everybody showing love to Benny. Okay. Go to the CMP exam. Huh? Go to it. That's what J. Oliver. Everybody show love to J. Oliver. Now listen to what Bluebird says. 1/2, I submit a private DBQ and Nexus for my back claim in my claim, and it was still assigned to a CFP examiner. Now you got a Nexus, but you understand why, right? Bluebird, do you understand why they sent it to you? Let's go back. Come on. We going back to the origin story all again. Now watch this here. You see number 2 right there? So if you did have a Nexus, okay, that means most likely you had a diagnosis, right? And the Nexus showed a connection to your military service, right? They could have did it because the Nexus was not sufficient, or they needed a measure of severity. When you submitted the Nexus letter, did it show how severe your condition was, Bluebird? If it didn't, they needed that, so they needed more information. Tell me if that makes sense, Bluebird. See, the number 2, the disabled veteran checklist, you got to have a diagnosis of the condition you're claiming. Check. Then you said you submitted a Nexus. Check. Oh, but you submitted a private DBQ and the Nexus, so you should have had a measure of severity in the private DBQ. Now listen, I submitted a private DBQ and Nexus for my back, claimed in my claim, and it was still assigned to a CFP examiner. I still went, but the examiner didn't use a gotometer, and I reported afterward. What happened then? J. Oliver say, hello all. Yes, indeed. Family, we cutting up. Oh, Kev, we was worried about Kev, family. Family, the prodigal son has come home. Kev, we've been worried about you. Say, guess who's back? Good evening, everyone. Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, Kev is here. You understand what I'm saying? Put up all the food, all the stuff. He's back from out of town. When that earthquake happened in Colombia, we didn't know where you were at, and we were praying for you and hoping that you were all right, brother. How'd everything go? You let us know. And thanks for the donation. He throwing it, and we appreciate that blessing, putting something in the coins in the chat, in the collection plate. Now listen to what said here. Flexman say, my question is, does that VA examiner see that private Nexus DBQ? I don't think they do, but I have no way of proving that. I think the VA want them to make a decision without that. Because if the VA say if it's not sufficient enough, for rating purposes, why would they give it to them if they feel like it's not sufficient? The reason that they don't want to consider it is because they say it's insufficient. So why would they give it as evidence for the CMP examiner to look at? Meaning your private, independent DBQ. Now tell me if that makes sense. But VA have done weird things before. Now, Betty Bob's, hello, J.O., J. Oliver, so glad to see you. How are you doing? And some people be, what's the hey, have you ever paid a whole bunch of money for a Nexus letter? The DBQ, I understand, because you get a doctor to fill something out, that's one thing. I know somebody told me they paid $2,000 for a Nexus letter to show a connection between your military service and your current condition or injury. Now, Benny says, get your money back before they file bankruptcy. Wow. Well, with Trajectory, they already done that. We broke that news. Bluebird says now She just did a DTA, duty to assist, and now they're using my private DBQ Nexus in their ACE medical opinion as we speak. Hold on, Bluebird. So what they wouldn't consider at first, they got to consider it now? Is that what you're saying? Is that the same DBQ and Nexus letter that the original rater rejected? Let us know. I'm still waiting on my results from all of this. You stay strong. Now listen, backwards law say, that is a good point. Make sure the doctor that fills out your private DBQ is board certified in the major specialty that covers your disability, and they put their license number on the signature, and they need to sign it. And guess what else they need to do? They need to make sure that their contact information, they got several ID numbers, right? They got to put on there their doctor's credentials, and I forget they called some professional ID certification or something. And the VA need to be able to contact them. Am I making sense? And listen, let me see what I want to say somebody. Make sure if you're going to get somebody to examine you outside the VA system, outside the DBQ system, outside the CMP exam system from the VA, you do it on your own. If it's for TBI, traumatic brain injury, you need to have a neurologist or somebody comparable that covers that, or the VA may not consider them to be qualified to complete the DBQ. Tell me if I'm making sense. Now listen to what our brother says. Question from Brother Charlton. If UH Town would, hold on, man. Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. Give me a second. All right, y'all, give me a second. Yeah, that's my brother. He said, y'all got some wild names. That's my brother. I sent him the link. I got to remember to turn off both my phones. Sorry about that, family. I don't know if y'all heard it. And thank you for the donation. Say, guess who's back? Good evening, everyone from Kev. Fam, are we doing this thing? Oh, I got to figure out what our brother said. Question, if you know H-Town, would an error be in a VA contract doctor for mental health say you don't need mental health treatment? Would that be an error for an appeal? If it doesn't fit the whole medical record, listen, how do a doctor know what you need if they only saw you one time, Charlton? And if they didn't consider the whole medical record, if another doctor said you do need mental health treatment, and 5 doctors before them said you need mental health treatment, but this one doctor say you don't, that's a problem. So you're going to put in what the law says, that this one doctor who only saw you that one time did not consider the whole medical records, the medical opinions of the other doctors. They're supposed to take that into consideration. That could make it where you can provoke a new exam. Come on now. You can ask for a new exam, not just an appeal. You can say that one is faulty. I got them send me to another exam. Am I making sense? That is sketchy one, Charlton. Lots of variables dealing with there. And if they was not clear why they said that, you can use that to appeal, saying that the doctor, that could be like doctor bias almost. Bring a copy of your privately submitted DBQ and Nexus to your CMP exam. That could go good or that could go bad. Okay, they could consider it, or they could say, no, I got to do my independent. It depends. Okay, I say some things you take, some you don't. I don't know. Because they say, well, why you got one? And they don't know if you didn't fill that out yourself. They're not going to verify who that other doctor is. That's the VA's responsibility to do that. So that's something to consider, but I want you to think about that. What they say, the veteran just filled it out. And if they consider it and put it in the chart, and if it ain't already in the chart, it ain't already in the file that's sent over from the VA, I don't know. They're using information outside. I say use it, and it's my opinion. I say use information that's already in your file, just highlight it because they may not be able to go over all of it, or the VA may not have sent it to them, but it's already in the file that you submitted to the VA. Does that make sense? Or in your VA healthcare files. Thank you so much for the beautiful blessing. And are you back from vacation? So glad you're here. That's from Betty talking to Brother Ked. Hey, J. Oliver. Family, we doing this thing tonight. Now listen, Novell say musculoskeletal CMP exams have to be completed by the VA in person. Really? I have never seen anyone get a private DBQ for those conditions. Have anybody ever had, and I'm not questioning, challenge you. I don't know. I've never been examined. Have you ever got a private DBQ for musculoskeletal conditions? Seems like you can. I don't know. Maybe not. Thanks for the super duper chat. Kev, evening, Kev. Yes, indeed. It was great. I wasn't in the impacted area of the earthquake. He's in Colombia, but he wasn't in the impacted area. God bless those who were affected by this. Yeah, I saw them pulling the woman out of the rubble. Now, 101, this is the next mission. 101, many veterans that are considered 100% scheduler, meaning you actually is 100% on your paperwork. You're not IU or TDIU. You're actually 100% paid at, not just paid at 100% rate. You actually got 100. Have conditions that cause such severe impairment that the veteran would qualify for special monthly compensation, or SMC for short. Yes, indeed. Now listen to what Bluebird said. It was denied, but I ended up going to the Reno Claims Clinic and talked to the RVSR. What's the Reno Claims Clinic? Was VA was there? And about the denial, I showed my private DBQ and Nexus. That was in my claim, and the VSR told me it was sufficient. See, I'm gonna tell you, you can, when you go to those, they help you out. You got people that work for the VA. You go to them, some of them clinics, they'll help you. I don't know. I'm assuming you're saying it from the VA. Now listen what he's telling him. Next mission say 1 of 1. Not saying that is the case for you, but you should at least know what SMC is and whether it may apply, of course, to you. You have a year to appeal your current 100% rating decisions if you feel you qualify. Now, listen to what Benny Reno says. Under M21-1, Part 4, Subpart I, Chapter 3, Section A, Contract Examiners. Did you? Now listen. You see him, he backing me up here. You see what Reno said, what I was saying out of my mouth? Contract examiners are required to review the entirety of your relevant electronic claim file, which includes your submitted private DBQs. They have to consider the whole record. And if they don't, it can be thrown off. Thanks, H answered. So I did answer you? Okay. Now listen to what Bluebird say. She agreed that this shouldn't been rated, okay? She agreed that this should have been rated, and that she developed it into a supplemental claim while I was there. Did she put any of her initials on it? Did she submit the paperwork to the VA for you? Or what did she do? She put it on your paperwork? What did he show that she was handling? She was pretty shocked and surprised it wasn't used. There was nothing wrong. Come on now. Come on, family. This is what I'm talking about. Let's get a second opinion. And when you know better, you do better. Now, I also wrote a statement disagreeing with the denial decision and included the M21-1 and the 38 CFR in my statement to prove that it should have been used for rating purposes in which I submitted to. Listen, when you have something you want to do a rebuttal, tell me the form, give me the number of the form and what it's called when you want to put your personal statement in there, even a buddy statement, or you want to rebut something they say. It has a certain number. Tell them what it's called. The Come on, tell me what that VA form is called. Now, I'll use that at Mental Health CMP if they ask why I didn't get treatment in the past, in the VA in the past. Well, you getting treatment now. Tell them when you found out you had a problem, you start getting treatment. Hopefully you're getting treatment now. So it's not so much in the past. If you didn't know, you didn't know. Now you know you're getting treatment. No, I am not doing it for my back. Okay. Somebody put it in the chat. What's that form? I need to hear that form. Somebody put the form in the chat. My vision, my vision. I need to see it a few times. What's that form? It's called support a claim form. What's that form? The claim clinic was set up at the VFW National Convention. Did you see anybody that's on YouTube up there? Any of the people you see online? Any YouTubers or social media people? Bluebird says VA Form 21-4138, one of the most powerful forms in expressing your position, gathering evidence, and yes. Now, these are some forms you can give to one of your doctors. I would. But whatever you give a doctor, don't give them a stack of stuff. Make it simple. And give them a copy of your problems list from the VA hospital. They're going to be going through a lot of stuff. If you get in a real summary, short summary synopsis, and if they say no, they don't want to take it, that's okay. Jimmy Elmore say personal statements on 21-4138. Yes, indeed. Now, fam, let's get to it here. Now, look, once you submit your claim, if they send you to a CMP exam, if you didn't submit one, you go to that CMP exam. All right? We're going to go over the do's and don'ts in the future. Now, once you're waiting on the update, we said we have videos on claim updates. Watch our videos on that and use that same form we just talked about, the 21-4138, to say ask for an update. You just plug in your information and you customize it as you need it. Number 8, if your claim is denied, what are the ways you can deal with a denied claim? You could ask for what? What can you do if your claim is denied? What is it called? Come on, let us know. That's number 8 we're talking about up there. Now look, backwards law say 4138 is a very important thing to fill out, explaining your thinking in your claim so the VSR and the RVSR knows what you are saying and thinking. So what are the things you can do if your claim is denied? You can get a what? Call them some kind of reviewer. What do they call them? Now listen, Charlton say VA and mental health sucks in the past and even today. Is what I've discovered. We vets have to run over a lot. Yes. Have been run over a lot. We've been run over a lot. It's called an appeal, high level review, or supplemental. So if you get an appeal, you can do a supplemental. Supplemental is, I think, when you add information, I don't know what I think, when you add information that they didn't consider, a high level reviewer, you can't add nothing else to the claim. They're going to go over and make sure that the claim was adjudicated properly. They're going to take supposedly an expert or somebody that's a more qualified person at the VA is going to look over the decision and say, well, it's correct, or they did something wrong. They can take it back to correct, or they can make a decision there. My claim was done on a high level reviewer. Okay. They used to call them decision review officers. Now, listen. Bluebird says this was at the VFW National Convention where I spoke to a VSR and Raider in Reno. Okay. She was very helpful, and wish you would have got her number or something. Some way you can contact her. If she's willing to give it to you, because people like that is good to have. There were CMP exams already on the spot at the convention. I would encourage everyone to go. Tell me, I want you to send me, Bluebird, a list of those conventions when they're having one here in Texas, when they're having one in what other states. Y'all send them to me by email, and we're going to go over it so y'all know to go there. Is that all right? That's something I want to say to y'all. Boy. Man, something I want to tell y'all. My brain ain't working right. Oh, something I'm about to tell y'all better be ready for. Correct. And the appeal asks for a VA law judge to look at it. Yes. So if you could either go to a high level reviewer, or it can go to before the board of Veteran Appeals. They've been, how long? What's the average wait time at the Board of Veteran Appeals? The high level reviewer is going to be looking at the M21 manual by making your decision. That's the rules he's going by for the most part. The Board of Veteran Appeals, they're going to use the 38 CFR to make their decision. But it may take a while. 2028 will be in San Antonio. Fam, we call San Antonio. Come on now. Now, the last step, once you get your appeal stuff straight, is your claim being approved, number 9. Here's the thing. If your claim get approved, what things you need to look out? I'm asking y'all, because I want you to know if y'all know. Even if your claim get approved, what are you looking for to make sure that they did correctly? At least 2 things. 2 things. What 2 things? Let's say they approve your claim. What 2 things you need to make sure? Number 9. What 2 things you need to make sure? Now, let's see. Y'all telling me how long it's taking on. If your claim get approved, you still looking for these 2 things. I'm going to see if y'all know it. Put it in the chat. If your claim get approved, I got it approved. You're looking for at least 2 things. Well, 3 things now. Static and the date. The date. Effective date and rating. So what he's saying in so many words, Gino, y'all are all saying it, but in so many words, Benny Gino is saying effective date, that they go back to your back pay has the right effective date. Benny Shaw, and y'all are too. Another thing you need to look at, did you get properly rated? They approve your claim, but they gave you 30% instead of 70% when you say you have symptoms that are at the 70% level. Rating criteria, that is. They may have underrated you. Is H-Town breaking it down? Somebody let me know. Re-examination. So let's say they approve it, but they say you're going to have a future exam. You say, well, this shouldn't be temporary because of the fact I have symptoms that are at the 100% rate, and they say my condition won't improve. So you see if you want to fight it. Or date not likely to improve. Those are things that you look for, but you got to have evidence that showed that your condition was not likely to improve. If they have evidence that say that your condition may improve in the future, you got to show something different that counters that. If not, they made a right decision. The date. Another third thing, and I like what Jimmy said because I didn't think about it right now. 3 things. Is it static and the date? Wow. The date, the effective date, the rating, and whether or not it's static. Family, y'all breaking it down. Now look, my last high-level review took 5 months from filed and then claim letter. I got them. Now listen to me. They made a decision. They told me they had 60 days to make it. I said, I want a hearing. That high-level review, hurry up and approve mine. They didn't want to meet me. I said, I want to talk to you. Huh? Face to face. They said, forget that. They went on, gave me my stuff and showed me why I qualified. Not saying they didn't do it right, but they didn't wait around because, hey, I want my stuff. I forget what the 60 days for. Come on now. Backwards law say 36 months is what they were quoting earlier this year to get the Veteran Board of Appeals Judge Desk. Wow. That's Would you rather high-level reviewer? But with the judge, you may be able to submit new evidence. With the high-level reviewer, it may go faster, but you can't submit new evidence. Come on now. Y'all are really doing this good. RFE will be listed on your claim if it applies. Family, I'm gonna cut the video in half. We're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna cut it with special money conversation. Well, I don't want to be false flagging, but we're gonna get into my story. Now, also, Benny Gino say also check the 4-digit diagnostic code to ensure your rating properly reflects your medical claim condition. And that diagnostic code will have the rating criteria. Yes, indeed. You better make sure they diagnose you for the right condition. Come on now. Let's talk about it. Now, we went over that, family. Did we go over that today? Come on now. We talked about it. You know the process. Please click like, share, and subscribe, and click on those notifications. If you haven't done that so far, somebody let us know what we're looking like on the likes and the right now. Tell us what we're looking like on likes and who watching. Likes, we got 15 and 19 watching. Family, if you haven't done so, please, if you feel so motivated, go and do that. And click the no button. Now, we're getting on topic. All right, and the topic for tonight is, we talking about it, fam. Huh? What are we talking about? We're talking about honoring Desert Storm veterans. It's time to tell our story. When we've been going over these statistics, it's been kind of hitting me. Good review. Thank you, H-Town Vet. I'm going to do that in the beginning. So if we cover other topics, I'm probably going to split this video a little bit. But yes, we're trying to do it because we got to keep ourselves sharp. But now back what we're talking about. Desert Storm was a different war, and I'll tell you because I was in it. Okay? We had the largest tank battle since World War II or battles, even though it was a short war. And I'm not saying they was as large as the World War II battle, but we had we were fighting the Republican Guard. It was more of a mechanized war. The Marines secured other areas, and they did their part, and thank them for coming in earlier, setting up everything. Thank God for them. And they went on special missions and stuff, and we thank God for them and the Navy, who was giving us air support. I say it again, Yeah, the Navy was on the coast giving us air support, shooting over our tanks. I wasn't too happy about it, but Charlton then was letting me know that, because I like, how would they know where we at and not accidentally hit us? They had people embedded just like the Air Force, okay? But if you look at that tank, that's what I was on, an MA1 tank. I was in the, what is that? Was I in the 3rd ID? 3rd Division. I forget my, boy, I'm look, am I Stolen Valor over here? I forgot where I was in. Yes, Alpha Company, 3rd Battalion, 1st Armored Division. And a lot of times we as Gulf War veterans, and I say Desert Storm, talking about the first Gulf War, Desert Storm in particular, we're kind of caught in the middle. The war happened basically almost 22, at least a decade and a half to 2 decades after Vietnam. And it was different from the Vietnam War in the fact that it was a mechanized desert war. Had we ever fought a desert war like that before? I don't know if we fought at all in Northern Africa during World War II. Was there any American vehicles on the ground, or was it just, who else was fighting? The English in Northern Africa during World War II? I don't know if we've ever had a desert war other than First Gulf War. Let me know if I'm incorrect. I don't know. We're in between. 2 decades before was Vietnam War. The veterans and some of the people that were still in, well, the ones that were still in that were combat veterans, they were from Vietnam. Most of them weren't in tanks, because that wasn't really a tank. They had tanks over there, M60s, I believe, but that wasn't tanks really couldn't do much in the jungle. They had them for support in the cities and other places. Then Desert Storm was different from post 9/11, which is called GWOT, the Global War on Terror, because that's a decade after us. So we're kind of caught in the middle. Y'all tell me, where were you when it broke out? When Desert Storm broke out, they call it Desert Fox, then Desert Shield, then Desert Storm. Where were you when the war broke out? And we're going to talk about it. Yes, indeed. Thank you. We're going to put y'all, come on now. Because I forget whether we were there, Charlton. I think you got something in there. Where were you? Were you born yet? Please like and subscribe and respect the H-Town Vet chat as well. And always stay on topic. Yes, indeed, fam. We're on topic now. Benny G says, you will need to obtain your code sheet to determine static conditions. We forgot to mention that. VA rating code sheet. Tell them in the chat how they can get those code sheets, either by requesting it on the 1-800 number. If you got it on the 1-800 number, put 1-800 in the chat. If you got your VA rating code sheet, it lists all the conditions that you are service connected for and was denied. And it tells you the diagnostic code with the condition and whether they're static or not, and if you have any future exams. Come on now, fam. Now back to what we talking about. I'm starting to like y'all already. Now listen, I was standing on sand dune watching all you tankers plow through those putty T-72s. I'm gonna tell you, the T-72s, someone with T-62s, and they had some track vehicles back with Low. And I'm gonna tell you some of the interesting things, because we spent a lot of time down inside the tank. Tell me, what were you doing? Because I want to know what y'all was doing. I have no idea. This was the first actually, what do they call it, war that was taking place on the news, that was televised. That's wild. Meaning actually tell blow by blow, CNN, like Charlton say. Now look, Hell, I was waving you by at some point then, H-Town, Vet Northside. Where were you at? What unit were you in? Operation Torch, North Africa, U.S., World War II. I'm going to have to look that up. I thought I knew, but thank you for letting us know that. Wow, let me know. If you called the 1-800 number and you've gotten your VA code sheet, put it in the chat so other people will feel comfortable looking for theirs. Jimmy say, Elmore said, I'll call the 1-800 number and ask for the VA rating code sheet. Huh? Betty says, 1-800, ask for the long form VA rating code sheet. I got the short version. Okay. Now listen. Yes, that was right before Patton got his 3rd star, and when they gave him his 4th in Germany was when Patton was facing the Desert Fox Rommel, who was a bad mamma jamma. Now, family, don't judge me, but I got to tell you something. Rommel was a soldier. I got a lot of, he was German now. Okay. But that man was good at what he did. He was dealing with them tanks, and he was smart. He was a soldier. I suggest you look at things. I'm not promoting the Nazi party, then I'm saying he was a soldier. He was actually part of the ones that was trying to take Hitler out. That's why they had him. They got him when they found out he was talking to the guys. He wasn't directly, but he wasn't against it. He said, yeah, okay. And when they found out he had talked to the people that was planning to overthrow Hitler, they went to his house and they said, hey, we'll take care of your family forever. But ride with it, and they had him take, a capsule or take his life some type of way. Very, very, yeah, the Desert Fox was very, watch stuff on Rommel, and yes. And Patton, the Navy counted the Marines on the ground to act as spotters and provide U.S. coordinates to those targets. Oh, hold on. So it may not have been Navy on the ground. It may have been Marine. I know the Air Force was down there because I saw the Air Force guy. He had a patch on. I said, man, what are you doing here? He said, we here to call in air support. He was in one of our vehicles. He had on uniforms that looked like ours. They didn't want, but it was Air Force patch on him. Man, so they were using the Marines embedded, most likely. It might have been some Navy sailors down there too. Do y'all cooperate that much, the Marines? Because y'all have some Marines on y'all ships. Listen to what Charlton said about Desert Storm. I saw it on cable, TV, CNN, live and bad dag reporting. What was his name? What's that black guy name? What was his name? Begin with a B. What was his name? I can't say his name. What was that black guy name? He was back then. I saw him. I said, who's this guy? And I'm sure what's the name was on there. What's the name? Dan Rather is from Houston. He born and raised in Houston with the Eisenhower High School. Yes, indeed. That's one of our hometown people. Powell was the head general, but who was the other general that was actually under him that ran us, that led us while we were over there? His name was again with an S. See if y'all have heard of him. Now listen, General what? But shout out to General Colin Powell. Respect. He was our overall leader. Now, 1-800. Okay, we read that one. I use the VA dashboard app to get the static status if I need to see it. Can you print it off though? Backwood. I was in the UK, was heading back to base. Where were you when the Desert Storm broke off, family? Can't spell. I can't spell it either. His name's Schwarzkopf. General Schwarzkopf. I can't spell it either, but you close. General Powell to say, we kept getting stuff around to different units as they needed route security. Okay. Now, were you an MP backwoods? I forgot what you did, what your job was. They attached us to the bloody first right before you guys jumped off to go cut off the back door. We had to do it. We was moving fast too. Oh, now listen what they said. Barksdale Air Force Base. Then this is what Jay Oliver say. Barksdale Air Force Base, the B-52s took off, headed to Iraq, and I watched as all the bombers flew away and thought World War III has just kicked off. And my troops said, Sarge, what the F? Family, where were y'all? That's his name. Stormin' Norman. Look, Stormin' Norman. Schwarzkopf. That was the nickname we gave him. He was cool. It didn't bother him. Huh? Now I'm gonna tell y'all that the Stormin' Norman was the general, but that sergeant major, the E9 that was over it, he got stitches in the side of his face. And, he was talking to us. He came and talked to us about, they say we took out over 100,000 of the enemy. It was a lot of people, with not just us, just air and stuff. Most of the people we got, they gave up. Thank God they gave up. They was hungry. He wasn't feeding them. We had cut off supply. Saddam wouldn't let them come back, and the generals or whatever. But thank God we pull up hundreds of people, a few thousand people just jumping, coming from under. They were all in the ground in that sand. Yes, indeed. They knew how to build bunkers down there. Now, I think it was Bernard. Bernard, what was his name? What was his first name? What's his name? Bernard what? The Bernard show, that was in Baghdad when it kicked off. Because when I come back, I say, who is this guy? Who is it? I didn't know who homie was. Now, Desert Storm deployed to Bravo Group USS Nimitz. If you were in Desert Storm, if you was in Desert Storm, if you helped support, you was in doing Desert Storm and you helped send stuff over there, let us know. If you were in Desert Storm or you would support. Put Desert Storm in the chat if you over there. If you did support and you sent stuff over there, like our brother from Barksdale, put support that you help support from the base in the United States. Let us know, because we thank God for all y'all. Let us know. All y'all support means everything. We wouldn't have made it without y'all. Everybody was important. Yes, I printed it off. You printed off the that was his name. You printed off your VA code sheet, so you can print it off on the app. Bernard Shaw, that is. Oh, doggone, I remember that name. Hungry Troops. That sounds for me. Oh, Lord, Charlton. Yeah. Charlton, let me tell you, it broke my heart. Because when we got to them and we were just driving through, we couldn't do nothing because there's too many of them. They just popped out of the ground and they had their hands up and coming. The master tanker, that's the person that made sure all the tanks were right and stuff, calibrated. He was in a Humvee. He got out. The guy ran up to him because he couldn't go nowhere because they were surrounding the Humvee. And I'm in a tank looking down, and they run up to him, telling me something. He kind of jumped back because ain't nothing you can do. It's so many of them, and they doing this here. Look, and you feeling bad for them. I'm like, how long have they been here without no food? I know that may sound crazy to y'all, but we human beings, man. If somebody capture us, we want to make sure they treat us right. And the MPs, I don't know how they did it. They had all them people organized, zip tied, fed them, then zip tied them, put them on the back of Hemmets and trucks, and moved them out of there. I say, wow, it was organized. Now look, Desert Storm. Let's see. Support. Okay. Jimmy L. Moore was in Desert Storm. Where were you at? Dan Betty, Desert Storm support. How did you support, sister? Were you one of the ones flying us over? Desert Storm. Okay, respect to the Desert Storm veterans in the chat. Better say Desert Storm support UK. Okay, where were you at when you supported? You in the UK. Backwoods Law. Respect to all my Desert Storm veterans, all my not just Desert Storm, but those who were Desert Storm era. If you were in Germany, if you were somewhere around, you were doing your part. Thank you. Because nobody picked who went. So whatever you did, support like an expensive underwire bra. God, dog. Jay Oliver still cutting up. You ain't said no jokes about Lieutenant Dan. What you say we be doing in a room, he in a room doing tap dancing, what he said he doing? Oh, Lord. Oh, see, I'm cutting up. Backwoods Law say, saw it when I got back home on block leave, was sitting there watching a VHS tape. That's like a VCR tape. My mom and dad made when it went down. They made my tape. Now listen to God bless. You touching me right now, Backwoods Law. They sent the tape after the ground war was over. They had one of the big Connex that you put on the back of ships, them shipping containers. They had us where they put a TV in there, and we had cheers in there watching video. And my family, my uncle sent me a video with all the family on there, and and I got my grandmother and great grandmother who passed away since, and my grandmother passed away. My little sister was 9, and my cousins and all the guys looking. I got some pretty cousins in my family. I ain't making up pretty cousin. Who is that? They said, oh, and they said, we miss you, and all this stuff. And then they had preaching at the end, we Southern people, so he had preaching. But look, what was funny, my uncle, we ride horses and stuff and trail ride. So one of the guys say, you be safe over there. He had his hand behind his back. But when you get back here, we got one of these for you had a beer, like a Slits or something, one of them Bud Lights. I don't know. Now they drunk some beer. I didn't really drink, but he cracked them up, man. We be cutting up. It made me feel good. And you said watch a VH tape with your mom and dad and went down. When we went back, it's good. And they showed stuff like that. I ain't mean to take your shine away, Backwoods Law, but I'm glad they showed it. And they were asking me where I was. LOL, I said middle of the desert somewhere. We didn't know where we was at, did we? We didn't know where we was at. After a while, you can kind of tell the difference between Saudi Arabia and Iraq, because Saudi Arabia is like real sand, like almost just mainly sand, like beach sand. But when you get to Iraq, you start seeing a little shrubbery, and it's kind of burnt, I guess, from the bombing. And if you dig down by 2 feet, it turns into almost like a brick. How do I know? Guys cut up, we end up having to dig a trench, and it's like scraping a brick after you get past the sand 2 feet. Jimmy Elmore said, our company made a Desert Storm yearbook. Okay. Did anybody send any food, or did you know anybody send any care packages over? I love the care packages. The Oreo cookies saved my life. We protected the base when all the Marines left. Let me ask you this here. In Germany, guess what happened? So while I was in Germany, Betty, you was in the UK. I was in Germany from 1989 to 1991. Now listen. And the Puerto Ricans came from Puerto Rico, and they guarded the base gates while we were gone. Now, Backwoods Law said, I just knew they said be here on the what is that? I don't know what that was. A catered cover sheet by 2,300 hours to Mars. We took off and went. Wow. Now, family, let me show you this here. Yeah, start asking questions and talk to Desert Storm veterans, Vietnam veterans too. But a lot of times we be in the middle there. It was different for us. A lot of stuff happened. And we're talking about Kuwait is what happened when they invaded Kuwait. Family, I didn't know what was going on. I was on vacation when the war broke, when Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait, I found out I was in another country. I wasn't even in Germany. Huh? Where were you when Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait? Somebody tell us, why didn't you just use your smart iPhone to get the location, H-Town? Oh, it was no smartphone back then, Charlton. UK March 1990, November 1992. So you were there. The whole year of 1990, I was in Germany. So if anybody committed a crime, like on Forensic Files, it couldn't have been me because I was in Germany that whole year, almost the whole of 1989. Because I got to Germany in 1989, like January the 3rd or something. And I didn't leave from Germany. I never came home on leave until 1991. And that was like in July. Now listen, I receive Famous Amos cookies from family enough to share with the entire division. Wow. Yeah, a black man made that. He sold it though. He sold it for some money. Bad move, because he tried to use his name after that to make not Famous Amos, but other cookies. They say you can't make them. You can't use it. He couldn't even use his own name, but that was on him. But he made those Famous Amos cookies. They don't taste the same now. Whenever they get commercialized, they don't taste the same. That's like when somebody has a restaurant and the old people die off, that sometimes the young people don't keep it going with the same quality. Have you ever experienced that? Listen what Backwoods Law says. Their long line of M1s and Bradley vehicles driving. That's what, you know, those kind of Bradley vehicles is kind of scouts and B&Os and stuff. They had a main gun, but it wasn't as big as ours. Driving ahead by heading north to where you all jumped off. Yeah. Wow. Black man in New York. Those cookies was so good. Yes, man, I wish he wouldn't have sold it, you know, but he regretted now, but he was a multi-millionaire. So if you see Kuwait, I didn't realize it's right by it's kind of by the ocean right there. It's let's see, Bahrain is on the coast too. Did not realize that because I didn't know where I was at. We was over there when the Marwell Files was kicked off. Let me get it. So family, we dropped off in Saudi Arabia. Then we went, once we got our tanks, we went to Kuwait, but they had run out already. And the Navy was right there on that water where you see that flag at. The Navy was in there clearing them up and made them get up whatever ship they had out of there. And then we went to Iraq from there. Then once we got through in Iraq, when it was over, we went back to Bahrain. If you see right above Qatar, you see that? Now, guess where I was when it broke off? Now that's probably hard to see, but that spot is Bamberg, Germany, the big dot. But I was actually in Klippen, Sweden. Don't ask me what I was doing in Klippen, Sweden. It's up at the top near Denmark, Copenhagen. I didn't even realize Copenhagen was its own country. I took a train. I want you to listen to me. I took a train from Bamberg. It ain't no. It's where the numbers at, the big spot right there. Because you couldn't. It's so small, you couldn't put it on it right there. You have to make it, blow it up bigger to see Bamberg. Nuremberg right below it. So we about 45 minutes from Nuremberg, which was south of us. Now, I took a train from Bamberg all the way up through. I went to Hamburg all the way to Copenhagen, and guess what? We took a train from Germany up to Copenhagen, and we went by Denmark. I saw Denmark to the left, but I didn't stop in Denmark. Guess what happened? The train got on a ferry. The back of the ferry closed up, and I went over to Copenhagen. To Klippen, Sweden, right up there by Copenhagen. Now, here's the thing with that. I met a family in Spain And then I went and stayed with them in Sweden. Well, I called back to see what was going on. What's going on? They said, well, Saddam has invaded Kuwait. I said, what? I said, do I need to come back? He said, yeah, you need to come on back. You got to take these shots and stuff. So I had to tell the family I met there. And one of the boys, they had two sons. One of the boys, he felt sad because he had took me to school, and I came on back. But I met him. It was nice to meet that Swedish family. I think I was the only black man in Klippen, Sweden. Now listen, LOL, you were stationed just south of where I went to after I got back from Desert Storm, the third ID out of what Frankfurt? Yeah, I think we near we're way away from Frankfurt though. Frankfurt, yeah. K-Town, Kaiserslautern, all of them in the area. Stuttgart, all that. Was over by Stuttgart, Germany. Now listen, I remember tap line roads, the most dangerous roads in the world. I remember cold nights, cold mornings, and a bitter cold shower. I remember tremendous winds and rainstorms. So we know that he was there. Now listen to what Jimmy Elmore just said, and we're going to move on. This is where I was when it broke off, but I want to show you something. So I was in Bamberg, all right? Jimmy Elmore, hold that thought. We're going to talk about it. We're talking about if you have any stories as a Desert Storm veteran, I'm going to tell mine, and you willing to share yours. Now listen, if you want to come up and share it, you can. We was in Bamberg, Germany. They call it the city of six hills. I like Bamberg. I want to go back. Warner Barracks. And I forget that Air Force base over there in Germany. What's that Air Force base named? Ramstein? What was it? Ramstein Air Force Base? I forget. Anybody know? Put in the chat. Man. Yes, indeed. So that's where we were at. I want to show you something. First, once we left Saudi Arabia, we're in Tent City in Saudi Arabia, okay? And then we got our tanks in Humvees. We drove a road, no lights, in the middle of the dark, like that little line you see around the Marwell tank. But we wasn't by there yet. We drove them to our tanks. The Navy had dropped them off. Then we took the tanks there, but Saddam and him had set the oil wells ablaze. And what was the man named from Texas who put them out? Because they couldn't put them out. Now, we're going to talk about that. When I was over there, I want you to listen to me. January 1st to May 2nd, 1991, it rained all the time. I ain't never knew the desert could rain by that. You see what Jimmy's saying right there? I remember tremendous winds and rainstorms. He didn't say it. I want you to say it. Oh, you said it in the next one. Okay, he said it. I didn't realize you said it. The wind brought sandstorms. We couldn't do nothing. I had just took a shower outside. Well, not outside. They had little wood things like stalls, and it'd be empty on the feet, but they put plastic around it so it could keep the wind from blowing so heavy. But they had these burners on the top. Listen, they had that's why I say people look out for us. They had these Bunsen burners or something to heat the water up. Well, the plastic caught one of the burners, and the plastic caught fire. I had to run out of there naked out in the middle of the desert. AKA my version of Face the Nation. And right after I cleaned myself up, got washed up, a sandstorm happened. Now, Ramstein is one of the biggest ones. We all flew into Ramstein. That's the one I remember. Now, I remember crystal clear nights and starred field skies. Now, listen, I'll tell you what I remember over there. I remember some nights crystal clear, like you say, you could see like it was daytime, but it wasn't no light tint like daytime, but you could see everything. Do you remember Jimmy Elmore, Backwoods Law, when it was totally dark and even the night vision goggles didn't work? Let us know. How about, what is that? Halberts, you been in? What is that, Habits? What is that? Charlton, I don't know. Did I say that right? Is that the helicopter or what? I remember the explosion of artillery and booms in the horizon at night. We had to stand right next. We had to sit right next to the artillery. What those things called? What's that? Houses? What is that big thing with the big gun that looked like it's about to flip over? The big one, not the small one. That's the loudest thing I ever heard, man. It shook our tanks. We right next to them. I thought we were loud. I tried to forget those parts. Yeah. I understand. Now, family, this is us while we was actually over there. We were doing a lot of movement. Do y'all remember the sand? We had to stop so much to shake the sand out of our engines because we had jet engines in our tank. And on the back of the tank is where those filters were. We were always driving. See how they're sticking their head up? That's why I'm concerned. Family, I ain't never want to catch no dispersions. But when you're in a area where you're fighting and Lieutenant Dan say his loader stuck his head out and they were able to hit in the tank, somebody was able to shoot in the tank, how'd that happen? Because unless you're in the middle of a desert, unless it's a building by, can't nobody shoot down into the tank. They'll have to shoot straight across because everything's flat. And his head would never be out unless he ordered that man to stick his head out. Did you hear what I said? Because you got to be down there loading the weapon. The loader has to be loading. You don't stick your head out unless you're asked to because he's totally exposed. But Lieutenant Gade would know if there was somebody out there because he has a protected thing like telescope you can see up. It's raised up. I ain't trying to make no accusation, but hey, did he tell him to stick his head out? Because they asked me to stick my head out. I said, no, sir, you stick your head out the same time I do. Pop your hatch. I want you to lead by example. You think I'm going to stick my head out to see where they're shooting from? That was just small fire. It was like, AK-47. But that's enough to take my head off because those helmets we had were like flight helmets from the that y'all have maybe in the Navy and in the airplanes. We had that stuff. We had like flight suits on. That's kind of what we had in the tank, like overhaul kind of things. Now I wasn't sticking my head out, and that's why I wondered when I heard that. The sandstorms were a beast, and you would see camels running walking like by themselves through the desert. You see people driving cars through the middle. Then tell them about the Bedouins. What are Bedouins? Anybody know? You over there? Tell them what about Bedouins? I'm gonna get to that. I remember the emotions of fear and uncertainty of going to war. I was very. Y'all want me to be honest? I was so naive. They told us we wasn't going to the war. They didn't need us. I said, why are they taking our vehicles? Oh, they just taking them over there, but they're not taking us. Then we ended up going. They said, we're not going to do nothing. We're going to stay back and support. Then they took us to our tanks. What's going on? I didn't know we were really fighting. They kept lying to us. They lied to us continuously. I'm not making this up. And I didn't know we were fighting until the next morning. I saw everything burning. And I said, oh, these people didn't set us up. Our leadership, the sergeants and officers were lying to us. Woke up the next morning, everything burning. I said, well, if we're around burning stuff, we about to be in some firefights. Lied to us, man. Straight up liars. Kept trying to. Why won't you just tell us the truth? If you brief your people, do you lie to young people like that? You think I ever trust you? You talking about those big 155, yes. SP field guns. Yes, indeed. Now, the Hobbler destroyed Eagle Claw hostage rescue. Oh, that's that helicopter. Iran, April 24th, 1980. Was that when those big helicopters crashed when they was trying to do the rescue and it failed? I will second that, Jimmy Elmore. Come on now. I remember the bewilderment of being lost in the desert. Yeah, I don't know if y'all remember, but that man and woman in Supply was in either a deuce and a half or 5 ton. They got captured by the enemy. Now, ain't no way they're supposed to be captured by the enemy unless they was out there doing something. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't supposed to be nowhere by the enemy unless they was out there getting it on, knocking the boots. But hey, I'm glad they made it back safely. Now listen, on my balls for my watch, I could see the oil wells on the horizon line up like Christmas lights. Yeah, we were there in the daytime, but it looked like it was nighttime. So much oil was in the air. So I would say we were about 2 or 3 football fields away. We were close where I could see it with my regular eyes. But it was oil all on my uniform. But it wasn't like heavy oil, but it was sprinkled. It didn't burn or nothing. Now listen, scared us S-list when the Princeton and Tripoli was hit by mines. I didn't know that. What? Now, was the Princeton, was it a ship? I remember I heard one ship that was mine. One ship got a hole blew in it. Is that true? I don't know if that's a rumor. They said a Navy ship, because my friend was hopping on those ships that were abandoned, and they had to clear them with a handgun and a flashlight. Wow, you really care about your sailors. Why don't they send 2 people on the ship? Why they send 1 person? Or am I crazy or what? I don't know. That's what I was told. But he told me that. I don't know how many he said was with him, but he said by himself. I don't know. I remember the happiness in the Kuwaiti soldiers as they returned to their homeland. Yes, indeed. Do you know they have a McDonald's in Kuwait? Fam, they got a McDonald's. And we're going to talk about Navy. We sharing tonight. We're going to talk about Vietnam veterans. We're going to talk about peacetime, because most of my service was peacetime. So I got more stories on that. Now, LOL, you get to see on those, oh Lord, camel spiders. Tell them how big the camel spider is. They nasty. Tell them how big they are. They pretty much can wrap around the camel's head. Only thing, they like spread out big as your hands. Yeah. Only thing I thought I might have to get the pistol out and take out over there. You ain't never seen nothing like a camel spider. Who've ever seen a camel spider? Now they say on August 14th, 1991, all right, I was already gone. July, I went back home. As soon as I got back, I said, I won't leave. They say, your order's going to be coming down. I don't know. Y'all might send me somewhere. I want to go home on leave. I went home on leave, came right back. They say, it's time for you to go. I tried to extend my leave over a month. I was there over a month. They said, now you got to come back. You got orders to go to Fort Carson. Now, while transitioning across the Pacific, the CH-46 Sea Knight helicopter crashed into the ocean after refueling off our Fantail. I didn't know that. Fantail. We lost the entire crew of 4 in the ocean that day. Respect and blessings to the family and to y'all. Now, things like that, if you experience things like that, that's something you can put in your claim too. Let your doctors know and get treatment for those things. Is that the video on YouTube, you know? Yep, 2 ships. Now listen, everybody show love to Rainbow PB. Hello, family. I just logged in to show support. I'm going to sleep. Take care, everyone. Yes, indeed. We ain't going to be here much long. Thank you for coming in. Now listen. Dang, body on those was as big as my fist. They were big, sometimes a little bigger than your fist. But them arms, they look hairy from what I remember. Were they hairy? They look nasty. Them spiders look nasty. And I wore a size 10 glove. They were huge. Not a spider in my opinion. Nah, I ain't never seen no spider look like that. I ain't seen them too much. Now, family, we moved around and we were just driving most of the time. I didn't know where we were. We got to now here's the breakdown so y'all know. See if y'all remember any of these events. And a lot of vehicles we saw were already damaged. And if they weren't damaged, we had to shoot them to make sure nobody was hiding inside of them. Because they'll turn them, once we passed by them, we were vulnerable on the back of our vehicles. They light us up. So we had to, just destroy the vehicles. Now listen, Desert Storm timeline, Gulf War timeline from Desert Storm, first Gulf War. 1990 to 1991. All right. August the 2nd, 1990, Iraq invades Kuwait. Invasion shocked the world. Then August the 7th, 1990, Operation Desert Shield. Troops deployed to Saudi Arabia. November 29th, that's when they had shipped out. In October, they put out all our tanks on ships around October. November 29th, 1990, UN deadline set, forced, authorized by January 15th, 1991. Okay. But we was there by January 1st, 1991. February 24th, 1991, ground assault. Coalition invades Kuwait. I don't know if I remember seeing the English. I think France may have been over there. That was a few countries over there. That was a few countries. I think maybe England. I know England was over there. I saw some British stuff. I think I saw British. I don't know if I saw somebody else. And there was somebody from maybe a Middle Eastern country too. I forget. March the 3rd, 1991, war ends. Most of the no. Let me say this. February 27, 1991, Kuwait liberated. We were still fighting the 27th, the 28th. I thought it was the 28th. We were still fighting. Maybe I'm wrong. They're saying we liberate. Oh, so that's what I don't know, because I thought it was the 27th and the 28th. I don't remember the days, but I know it was hot right then. Things, because they had mines all in the ground, family, and we had to go in a line to keep from the mines, from the tank busted mines. But it just mainly blow the track off, but there could be more things. While we on tanks in one line, they're Bedouins, which is Iraqi farmers in the middle of a war zone, walking with their whole family, with the wife, the husband, the children, the goats, and everything. I say this is the wild stuff. And I'm just telling y'all, family, appreciate y'all listening. Now listen, fun fact, first war broadcast live on TV with precision guided weapons. And those precision guided weapons wasn't that good. Let me see. Plex Man, no, that was a different incident. Let me know what y'all talking about. Brits were there. Okay. Oh, that was Gino, Benny Gino said that. Now backwards law say Brits was there for sure, directed them around the different areas during the shield phase of it. Yeah, they were somewhere around. I don't know if I saw them, I can't remember, or if I saw them on television. I think I saw them. Now, when we left our family, we left out of Bahrain. Bahrain is one of the richest countries in the world, but it's very small. And they had us like this big old tent city. I mean, literally like building size tents. I mean, they way up, and they had somebody singing "Proud to Be an American" and all that. Fam, I'm just telling y'all, I say, bro, our tomahawks were to point what you were talking about. Okay. Were to point what you're talking about. Yeah. And the Warhawks too. What about those ATN tank busters? That made me nervous. Now, family, that's just our story. Anybody got something to say? Now, hear what we talked about if those weren't able to stay last night. This is what motivated me to do this. We talked about there was 6-point 6.33 million disabled veterans. Out of that, 4 million or 4,299 or what? Or Desert Storm, Gulf War era. And if you break those down, and this is what surprised those that didn't see the statistics, or did you, if you did, were you surprised that Desert Storm veterans make up a larger portion when you're just looking at these two groups? They make up a larger portion of Gulf War era veterans than the GWOT veterans, the Global War on Terror. Gulf War veterans, Desert Storm veterans are 56.2% of Gulf War era veterans, and the Global War on Terror group after 9/11, 43.8. Now, this could be because as we get older, our conditions get worse. What y'all think? Everybody show love to the Flying Irishman. Now, what they got there now? Now, you asked me a question about, tell me what those tomahawks were. I forget what the tomahawks were. I forgot, brother. TGI Fridays and Pizza Hut. They take out a McDonald's over there. Why they didn't stop? You know, I would have loved to take my tank through the McDonald's in order, but I don't know if it was there when I was there in 91. They got pizza. I want to go. Will I be able to legally go to Bahrain? Now listen. Oh yeah, love those A-10s, Big Brothers in the Sky. Yes, they were very good support. Now, Little Caesars for us all over there. Let me ask y'all here, family. If you eat pizza, what's your favorite pizza? Mine was Pizza Hut. What's your favorite pizza in here, family? Are you McDonald's? Are you Burger King? Let us know. Are you Wendy's? Are you Whataburger? That's here in the Texas area. Backwoods Law say yes, the actual surprised me that GWOT was not a larger group than us. I thought it'd be more than them because, you know, they did so many multiple tours. Flying Irishman, too bad. Anthony Pizza is gone for good. What Papa John's still around. What other pizza's not here no more? What about the Godfather Pizza? Is it still around? Hello, Flying Irishman. Everybody show love to the Flying Irishman. Yes, indeed, family. What's going on here? Why is there so many Desert Storm? Seem like there are more veterans that are of GWOT. I'm confused. It could be the PACT Act. What are some of the reasons? We talked about it last night. GWOT today is more push button munitions. Tanks and battlefields are old school, 20th century analog tech. Yeah. And here go another thing. Okay. You bring up a very interesting point, Charlton. I forgot to say. We were a ground war. We were like fighting the enemy like you fight the enemy. Some people just surrendering, you know, wasn't no big deal. They couldn't do no tank. They had some rocket launchers, but we didn't fight in urban areas. When we got to that road, the road of death leading from Baghdad, they made us stop and told us the war was over. As soon as we saw the road where all the people had been taken out and the vehicles had been shot up, the war was over. They say war over. I say, man, why we ain't going to finish this up? But I'm glad we didn't. Huh? So we didn't have many drones. They had drones over there, but not many. We were doing things, you know, direct contact with the enemy, and we wasn't walking around. It wasn't an infantry war where you walk around cities like they're doing now, or the roadside bombs wasn't really a thing because we didn't counter many civilians because we were exposed and were in the main war. Because they did have, at the beginning of GWOT, they had that first battle they had going into Baghdad. That was a ground war, like fighting the enemy like that. Other than that, it was more fighting insurgents after that, right? Now, and I'm not saying that's not serious. That Well, there were 600,000 U.S. military in theater, I think, is what I heard for Desert Storm. How many with GWAT? How many in GWAT in the Global War on Terror in country? And there's some overlap. Now, there were some Vietnam veterans, few, that were in Desert Storm and also in Vietnam. Ain't that crazy? I know a few. And there was some that was in more that were in Desert Storm. Desert Storm that was in the GWAT also. I got out. I ain't want no parts of that. Family, 9/11, respect. September 11th, when our country always honored, that's coming up real soon. H-Town Vet, that's my month, you know what I'm saying? And we have to honor people, those that fall in our country when they had the terrorist attacks in New York City and at the Pentagon. And where was the other one? Didn't the other one fall in Pennsylvania? Tell me where the Pentagon is. What is it in DC or is it in Pennsylvania? Where's the Pentagon? I'm so sorry that I don't know. And I remember the plane went down in Pennsylvania. When they went up there, the people on the plane went and attacked the terrorist when his wife told them, hey, they're running the planes and the stuff, and they stopped it. Pentagon is in DC. Where did the other plane, the fourth plane that the people fought back and the plane went down, was that in Pennsylvania? Yep. The senior enlisted EA, E9 were Vietnam guys that I ran into. Yes, indeed. Let me ask you this here. Burger King. You like Burger King. What's your favorite burger place? Put it in the chat, family, because we're going to try to stay positive too now. And because I want to know where you're going to go for Veterans Day, which will be coming up soon. It was in Pennsylvania. Okay. Well, the fourth plane. Good night, everyone. Okay, Gino. We about to get out of here. You are thinking about Shanksville, where the passengers took the plane down. Yes, indeed. No toilet paper at the Kuwaiti malls. Wow. Just a hose on the wall. Wow. Did not know that. I forget what In-N-Out Burger. You like In-N-Out Burger. Shanksville in Pennsylvania, near Pittsburgh. Oh, okay. Do they have a monument over there? I thought they had something over there at that spot where the plane went down. Am I right? Family, we got to honor our people, And family, remember, 100% permanent total, no limitations. Temporary 100%, limits are after you get the corrective surgery and the rehab period. Or if you went in for mental health, when you get out, if you stay in that 6 months, you get another 6 months. You get out the military with an unstable mental health condition, you'll have a total 100% temporary mental health rating for a year, then you get reevaluated. Same thing with getting out the hospital. Now, that's kind of good because, not good that you've been hospitalized, but the fact that they don't just reduce you automatically. Because if you're in a hospital for 6 months when you're a veteran for mental health, that's serious. So they reevaluate you. They let you keep it for 6 more months, which is a year, and they reevaluate you to see where the condition is. Now, also limits with unemployability, which is IU and TDIU. IU is a temporary 100%. TDIU is a permanent. They don't call it they call it total disability, individual unemployability, but it's permanent. They don't call it P&T, but it's really similar to 100% P&T. But both of them, IU and TDIU, are based on employability, and you limited the number, how much money you can make. You have to make under the poverty level. And the work environment has to be like in a family setting, or they have to make accommodations for your condition. But you can't get it while you are filing for it, because they're going to ask the last day you work. You can work afterward. Family, did we cover it today? I just threw a little something in there. Now say, are you Navy people out around San Diego? How is it out there these days? You want to move out there, Benny? You think about moving to San Diego? I know you're in California. Tell us, talk to us, family. What's on your mind? Tell us. We getting ready to close out in a little bit, but we want to know what you want to talk about. Any questions, comments, or concerns? That was about 40 miles south of where I live in Pittsburgh for 20 years. Let me ask you, is that a rural area where the plane went down? Now, sorry, H-Town, I thought we were in the after party. We are. Yeah, we good. That's why I'm at. San Diego is still dang dog. Damn dog. Okay. Pentagon just hiding all of that money and they lost. Wow. They rebuilt it over there, I think. Did they do a memorial over there? Verify all information, family. Well, my information is from me. Please like, share, and subscribe, and click on your notifications. I wanted to show you something. We'll see if it's any new rules. We'll see what we got. Because we ain't going to be here long. We've been here about 2 hours. We're gonna see if there's any new rules in the M21 manual, any updates. Yes, there are updates, family. Oh, God dog. With your bad self. Huh? August, remember there were no updates? There's some today, August the 17th. The VA did updates on the M21 manual, fam. All right, you ready? Let's see what's going on. Let's see. All right. I don't know what they're talking about. There we go. All right. You see in the upper, toward the upper in the green, it says update August the 17th, 2026. So when they change rules, sometimes it's internal policies, but they got some stuff they did here. Update instructions for accessing award and a payment information in VBMS. I don't know if that's for the veteran or for internal in the VA. Update the guidelines, evidence needed to complete a request to substitute and clarify board the expense. Okay, I don't know what that is. So you see they had 2 updates. You go check that out. Something dealing with Social Security. Social Security Administration requests for the amount of the Department of Veteran Affairs VA benefits received. Why in the world Social Security want to know how much you getting? Fam? Y'all thought I was going to overlook that. Does this concern you? But we in the after party, so y'all can chat it up. Still Squid Town. Okay. Damn. Horizon Plaza is no longer with us. Wow, rip. Wow, Flex Man. Oh no. Fam, why in the world does the Social Security office, look here, why do they request for the amount the Department of Veteran Affairs that you receive? Why would they want to know this? Is that always been the case? So first, a general information about Social Security Administration request for the amount of VA disability and Social Security disability insurance claimant receives. Okay. I don't know. What's that about? Why they not, why one don't affect the other? What's up? Oh, damn. Social Security Administration nosy as F. I know, right? What? Family, do you see? That's why we go over this, so you'll know when they doing backdoor stuff. Why is Social Security Administration worrying about what you get from the VA unless you filing or something and use as evidence? Why are they in your business like that? Huh? Now, they may want to know if it's some kind of fraud, why they want to know how much you get? Is that going to determine how much they give you or whether they deny you or not? What's that all about? Social Security wants to find out what taxes they can take. Wow. But it's not taxed. So this is confusing me. I said my first flight in uniform. I had my first flight in uniform at the Horizon Plaza, LOL, a long story, Army, Navy, and Marines, LOL. Let's see what they talking about. Family, let's see what they talking about Social Security. Social Security Administration Field Office. Now listen, Social Security Administration Field Office administering the Supplemental Social Security SSI programs are charged with identifying all of the Social Security claimants' resources. Now, SSI, is that that's even people with Social Security disability? What's SSI? Isn't that the one where you have to show? Look what it says. The Social Security program are charged with identifying all of the SSI claimants' resources, including income in the form of monetary benefits from the Department of Veteran Affairs, hereafter referred to as VA income for Social Security Administration purposes. I thought wasn't supposed to consider that when giving you something. Let's go down to this chart. If a Social Security insurance claimant is a veteran or surviving spouse, enter the veterans or surviving spouse VA income for Social Security Administration purposes. Wow. They tell them what form to put it on. A veteran's child, a veteran spouse, child, or parent, enter the spouse's child or parent's VA income. Why they want to know all this? Fam, did we see them slipping something in there? They trying to be slick and sneaky. Why they want to know all this here? What they really want from us? Now listen to what FlexMan say. Social Security disability insurance is favorable if you are not on TDIU, TBH. It is unfavorable to us, P&T, because most of us can work still. Yeah, yes, indeed. I can see that. I can see that, FlexMan. Fanny, they slipped this in here today. Now, Charlton say, Social Security Disability Association confused dummies. Think VA compensation is welfare. Damn. They're not supposed to use it against us. We are being compensated, Charlton. We have 21 likes, 18 watching. Thank y'all so much. Social Security insurance is needed based income. Okay, what's the other one? Social Security SSI is needs based. What's the other one? Which one is not needs based that you paid into? So that's the one SSI. Okay. Lieutenant Dan is behind this according to Charlton. They say, FlexMan say, damn, Benny. Yeah, it is. Because you didn't pay enough money. Is SSI the one, if you don't pay enough money in, you don't get regular Social Security? Now listen, LOL, Benny, you met the recent cops that they were San Diego Police Department. They're in Hawthorne. Okay. SSDI. Okay, SSI is the one that's income based. That's why they want to know. But SSDI is the one where you paid in. Okay, fam, we getting it straight. So they're not talking about SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance, not that, or Social Security Retirement. SSDI is what you paid into. They don't want it. They can't use your VA income to factor that in, huh? They can't say, oh, you getting VA disability, so we're going to cut down your SSDI. one don't affect the other. But SSI, if you get money from the VA, they might be able to take, it's a needs based, they might take the Social Security SSDI away. Come on now. Family, are we doing this? Family, let's see, can I find this? And I thank y'all, family. Y'all been so incredibly patient. What's going on with the news? I'm going to see if I can find this. Y'all give me a second. And I appreciate it. We're going to get ready to get out of here. But y'all keep bringing up with the Navy. I want to see if I can find it. I should have had it already pulled up. What's my sister? I'm going to see, can I find it, okay? All right. Now, family, I want to see, oh boy. Now, I don't want y'all to get mad when I show y'all this. All right. Don't, you know, we pray and you keep in contact with your family members that are in the Navy. Okay. But this is some of the stuff they're reporting. We're going to try to get to it here. We're going to hear what the president say. We're going to show respect to our country and the people in there. And let's at least hear what the president has to say. Let's see what I can do. So we're going to watch the news. Fair use, fair use, fair use. Have you seen Dougie? Where's he at? Fair use. This is for informative and educational purposes only. Put some more information in there about that Social Security thing, because we're going to have to do a live stream on Social Security. You getting triggered already. Let's see it now. If it seemed like I'm being an apologist for the president, I am not. But I'm going to tell you what I think he was saying, and you tell me what you think. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. All right, let me see what I got here. All right, so we're going to listen. If you can hear when we do it, put your speakers on in the chat. If you can hear it good, let us know. We're about to turn it on. I'll let you know when we get started. I'm going to ask you. All right. Let's get to it. And it's coming from our sister Lisa Cabrera, her channel. She puts out a lot of good news information. And a few people comment, and they have actually some news people talk. Now let's listen. Fair use, fair use. All right. Let me know when we get started if you can hear.
Please give me a 1 if you can see my.
Let's see. All right, let's see if we can hear it. Okay, tell me, I'm about to start. Tell me, put speakers in the chat if you can hear the president speak, okay? Here we go. And this is about the crisis with the Navy on the ship and reports of them not having food, people jumping up. Let's see, and them being deployed too long. They've been out there 9 months. I don't know if they brought them in yet. Listen up. Put speakers in the chat if you can hear.
U.S. service members are concerned about the conditions on board the USS Lincoln.
Well, no, that ship is moving. No, they're not. That ship is moving right now, or very shortly, and it's being replaced with another very similar ship.
Has the deployment's gone on too long?
No. Not nearly long enough. Thank you, everybody.
So what the president said, and I want, let's see what our brother said. Oh, George got married on the 8th of August, filed to add my wife this morning, 10:30. All right. Okay, now media manufactured crisis. Okay, everybody show congratulations to George and adding a dependent. Are you going to take a now? I don't know. Once you get 100%, if you're not there, get the ID card if you want to go take them up there. Was accepted and approved 5330. Let me ask you, how long did it take you? 330. How long did it take you once you filed it for it to be accepted? Was accepted and approved by? Let's see. President says he don't give a flip about sailors, like Lieutenant Gade, and he's having a bad hair day. Now listen, okay, everybody show congratulations. Now, was approved and had an approval letter. Okay. Now listen, this is what I want to say. Follow me, family. He said, they say, one of the reporters, she said, have they been deployed too long? He said they haven't been deployed long enough. Now, I don't know if he's talking about this one ship or all of the deployments. You know, he probably don't know the difference between one deployment and the whole operation. So I don't know. I'm not trying to apologize for him, but I'm just saying. 6 hour, man, it was fast. Wow, congrats. He added, our brother George added his dependents. We're in the after party. Let's do this. And news.
Before boarding his plane today on August 14th, Trump was speaking with reporters. And one of the reporters brought up what is currently going on, you know, with the concern the military families have when it comes to their loved ones being on that USS Lincoln. And baby, he said that they're not concerned. This man said that the families are not concerned.
Now, I don't know if I heard that part. I think he said something. Do you think the president's being insensitive, or is there concerns about their families being on the ship? I don't know the full report of what's going on. We're just reporting what's out there.
And then the reporter proceeded to say, are you concerned with the mental, you know, what's going on? He says no. And then she also said, well, what about the deployment? Has it gone too far? Baby, this man said it hasn't gone far enough, or it has not been long enough.
And he may not have been talking specifically about that ship or about the whole mission. I don't know. I'm not speaking for him.
Says the man that has never served. And since he had that to say, someone might want to tell him at the end of that video that I watched that CBS posted, baby, you need to check the back of your hair. Because baby, it was flying here, there, and everywhere.
Now, hold on. That's the second person. Somebody in the chat mentioned the president's hair. She mentions the president's hair. Do you want to apologize for the president bad hair day? Are you ready to apologize, Brother Charlton? Y'all are talking about the president's hair. This is the commander-in-chief. Press down low, sneaking off Air Force number 1 in Turkey. Left the rest to fly as target. They criticize him on that, but he said, now the president said when he got off Air Force 1 and the rest of his staff was still on there, he said that's not his call, that the Secret Service is the ones did that. They tell him what to do. So that's the other side. I'm not saying I agree. I'm just saying I'm reporting the news, fam.
That's the video.
Democratic lawmakers are calling for an investigation into conditions aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln. The aircraft carrier has spent more than 250 straight days at sea as part of its deployment in the Middle East.
Hold on, family. How many 250-something days have you ever in the Navy, members? What is your longest deployment or being out on the ship? How long have you been on a ship when you out at sea? What's the longest? They say haircut would solve the problem. Let's see what he said here. They said
250 straight days.
Have you ever been out from off port or whatever y'all call it for more than 250 days? How long is that? Let us know.
at sea as part of its deployment in the Middle East. Military families have reported food and supply shortages, broken plumbing, and worsening mental health among crew.
They say it's broken plumbing out there. Is this stuff propaganda? Is it real? I need to know because I care about the sailors out there. Haircut would solve the problem. Boy, y'all on the president's hair. George say they, the press, are just butthurt over Turkey. Okay. Where the food at? Where's the food? Are they feeding the sailors now? Come on now. Draft dodger, always a draft dodger. Wow. Let me ask you this here. I don't know where y'all stand on this. If you think they have enough food, put food in the chat or put a food emoji in the chat. If you think those sailors on that ship don't have enough food, put no food. If you think they're short or they're short on food, don't mean they don't have none. Put food or no food. Do you believe the reports that there's no food? If you think they have enough food on that ship, put food or no food. Which one do you think? Do you think there's a shortage of food or no food? What do you say? Because I'm not on a Navy ship. I'm not as experienced. I need to know, family, where y'all stand with that.
Some sailors have reportedly tried to jump overboard, prompting calls for an official inspection.
Hold on. They talking about sailors. They talking about doing inspection. Hold on. Do you think this propaganda, sailors jumping overboard, or is this really happening? Listen.
Broken plumbing and worsening mental health among crew.
Mental health issues.
Some sailors have reportedly tried to jump overboard, prompting calls for an official inspection.
Who gonna do the inspection? So Benny say no food. Benny say, I don't see no food. How y'all feel about it, fam? Do you think they have food on the ship? Do you think this is an overreaction? Have y'all, when you were in the Navy, have y'all ever had issues like this where they said you didn't have no food? I'm blind with this. I need some help. They say plumbing problems. Don't they have plumbers on the ship? Now listen, Charlton say 6 months on the JFK 1980 had broken plumbing and salad after 5 months had worms. I yelled my first salad in 5 months is moving and jumped. Wow. I don't know what that means. That's some Navy talk. Let me see. Let me know what you mean by that. Plumbing and salad. That's the interesting combination, Charlton. George say one striking example is the USS Nicholas DD-449. She deported New York on August the 23rd, 1942, and fought throughout the South Pacific before reaching Mare Island for overhaul in December 1943. 16 months. Woo! Lord, they out there 9 months. Now listen to what George Short's going to say. After leaving the West Coast again in early 1944, she remained in the Pacific all the way through Japan's surrender and did not arrive back in Seattle until October 1945. 21 months. Let me ask you, where in the world y'all getting food for if y'all don't ship that long? Tell me this here. How long do they keep the food stocked on the ships? When y'all go out and y'all fully stocked, how long does the food is supposed to last? Now, after leaving the West Coast again in early 1944, she remained in the Pacific. This is a ship from the World War II era, all the way through Japan's surrender and did not arrive back in Seattle. Okay, I said that to October. I got that. Now, Benny says, what happens when the Navy runs out of food on those ships? Is that even possible? Has it ever happened before, Flexman Charlton? We don't know, family. And we asking y'all, cause y'all, we ain't trying to put y'all on the spot. We just don't know.
NPR has not independently confirmed these details, which were first reported by the Navy Times. The Navy disputes reports of an increase in suicide attempts.
They say this was reported by the Navy Times. Do you believe the Navy Times reported this? Let us know, family. We are concerned. Did the Navy Times, listen to what they're saying, that this was first reported by the Navy Times? I'd like to see what the Navy Times said. No such thing. They're not going to have food for the, we had food in the middle of the desert. It was MREs.
Jump overboard, prompting calls
They talk about
shortages, broken plumbing, and worsening mental health among crew. Some sailors have reportedly tried to jump overboard, prompting calls for an official inspection. NPR has not independently confirmed these details, which were first reported by the Navy Times.
So first reported by the Navy Times, people want to jump off the ship and stuff. I don't know. Benny, fresh food, yes, out after 2 weeks, all canned and powdered. So they do have storage of food that is non-perishable. Does the helicopter bring supplies? Yeah, I know we naive, but I asked that earlier. Do helicopters bring supplies on the ship? Or where do y'all get the extra food from? Who fuels y'all up? Y'all got to be on dock to get fueled up? Can you get fueled up out on the water? Navy, I ain't trying to put y'all on the spot. Go on fishing. Wow. So do y'all fish out there sometime? And I'm not joking. I'm naive.
The Navy disputes reports of an increase in suicide attempts and says mental health support is available aboard the ship. Steve Walsh of member station WHRO has more.
A defense official told NPR that the Navy is sending the carrier USS Washington to relieve USS Lincoln.
So they sending the USS Washington to relieve the USS Lincoln. And family, I ask you this here because I'm totally blind. I don't know about Navy stuff. That's why we need you sailors and submariners. Say the report of suicide attempts is concerning. Yeah, and mental health stuff is always an issue for all us veterans. Charlton's answers us here say, no, H-Town, you do not know. Sorry, you are awake all the time. Just maybe rest 4 hours at a time. Wow. Man. Merchant Marine bring stories. Okay. Thanks, Jared Oliver. You see on reps. Okay. Yeah, because I don't know. I'm asking y'all, so that's why I don't know. So I don't want y'all to think I do know. I'm just seeing what they're reporting on the news. That's why we got you here.
The Lincoln has been at sea continuously for over 250 days, breaking records set during the COVID era, when ships were intentionally kept away from ports. Democratic lawmakers are demanding answers from the Pentagon after reports of food shortages and lack of adequate mental health care on board the carrier. CENTCOM says a sailor was rescued after falling overboard August 3rd. Supply lines have been...
Yeah, but sometimes people fall overboard. That don't mean that person jumped.
Stretched as the Navy's hub in the region at Bahrain has been under periodic attack since the start of the war with Iran. For NPR News, I'm Steve Walsh.
President Trump is dismissing claims that families of service members on board the Lincoln are concerned for their loved ones' health and safety.
That ship is moving right now, or very shortly, and it's being replaced with another very similar ship.
Has deployment's gone on too long? Are you worried?
No. Not nearly long enough. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Fam, I don't know what to make of it. The president don't seem concerned. So y'all got to help us out here. What's going on, fam? What do you take from what's going on? Can you make any heads or tails out? And I notice a lot of you Navy people are kind of quiet. Let us know. Family coming soon. Most likely tomorrow. We're going to be talking about the levels of protection. We're going to talk about the 5-year rule, the 10-year rule, the 55-year rule, the PNT rating, which is the second highest level of protection, and the ultimate, the 20-year rule. They can't touch this unless they can prove fraud. Now, and that goes for any rating from 0 to 100%. Now, let's see. Charlton gonna break it down for us. And priority is bomb and rockets and fuel for jets, food and soap, second and third. Also mail fourth. Now, mail is needed for morale, but I understand according to the military how they put priorities. Man, this is heavy, man. This is heavy, y'all. I'm really concerned. I'm really concerned. You know, I feel helpless because I don't know what to do to support, you know, Navy. Are you concerned, Charlton? Betty, are you concerned? And if you don't have to, I ain't trying to put y'all on the spot, but I don't know. Any other Navy in here? What's up? Is it just a part of the job? Is this just part of the way it is? Or is this a abnormal situation? Or this is normally how it goes? Let us know. Now, listen. If you've had your condition, this is the video we're going to be covering, and we're going to do it in detail because there was some confusion in dealing with this. The level, hopefully we can have it done by tomorrow. The levels of protections, we're going to do an update video on that. The 5-year rule, you've had your condition for 5 years without any change, then they call you for a reevaluation. Well, if you get the first evaluation, reexamination, I mean, you get the first reexamination and it's unfavorable, they have to send you to another one. You have to have at least 2 unfavorable reexaminations in order for them to reduce you after the 5-year rule. The 10-year rule, it adds on to it. At least 2 unfavorable examinations. Plus, if they do have 2 unfavorable at the 10-year rule, they can't take your service connection away, but they can reduce you down to 0% for whatever the condition is. But they can never take the service connection away after 10 years. And the 5-year rule implies too, they have to do it after 2 exams. So they accumulate. The 55-year rule, they usually don't bother you if you had the condition for 55. Once you're at the age of 55, they usually don't call you in for a reexamination. And they, based on what we showed you in the report from the OIG, they tend to honor that based on that sample size. The next highest level of protection is a 100% permanent total rating, even TDIU, a permanent rating of TDIU, that you are at that level. But the issue with that's more important with permanent total rating, 100% permanent total in particular, that you have the most benefits with the least restrictions. Okay? Then the ultimate is the 20-year rule. With the 20-year rule, they cannot take nothing away. After 20 years, you can go work or whatever, as long as they can't prove fraud. Once you've had a condition for 20 years without it going down in that 20-year period, because every time you get a reduction in a 20-year period for that condition, it resets to 20 years. As long as you have it continuously 20 years without interruption, that you will be okay. And there's no fraud involved. I hope that's been helpful. Family, and a couple of that I want y'all to go back if you haven't seen. The one last night was a real barn burner when we talked about that 100% and critics of us having it and why. We had a 4-hour, half-hour good time. And we go more into details dealing with the report that came out on VA disability compensation in 2025. Last year, they studied 6,338,253 veterans had service-connected disability. All right? Was service-connected. Now, there's over 18 million veterans. So that's like 1 out of every 3 veterans is a disabled veteran. So that means 2/3 are not. Watch that video, please, if you'd like to get informed. Ain't no reason to do that now. I don't think I changed that, did I? I think it's the same as last night, so ain't no use to do it. Oh, I did change it. So, question for the day. Who do you, everybody show love to Scrappy guy? Everybody show love to Scrappy guy. Now, let's see what we say. Thank you, Jay Oliver. You seen Unreps. What's Unreps? I don't know what that is. Y'all got me confused. I think I read that one. There are going to be a lot of baby daddies on that ship. Oh, you the baby daddy. You the baby daddy. You get a baby. You get a Lord have mercy. Now, can you do live streams on what's happening when you not 100% have TDIU, then get 100%? Now, yeah, we can do that, but TDIU, if you got TDIU, you will not get. TDIU is a permanent rating. If you have TDIU, you get that instead of 100% permanent total. Because TDIU, you have the permanent rating, but you don't have the scalar rating of 100%, but your disability is severe enough for them to give you TDIU, total disability individual unemployability. Are you talking about IU, individual unemployability? Okay, we can do it because I actually went from individual unemployability IU to TDIU, and we have a video out there on that too. But we can, if you want us to do one, we'll do it. Anything else y'all want to talk about to do videos on? Everybody show love to Scrappy guy. Say thank you. Yes, indeed. Who has access when you have a VA disability claim? Who has access to your private medical information in the claims process? Who has access? Do your VSO has access? Do your lawyer, your accredited lawyer that represents you have access? We know some people don't have access. Who do you feel comfortable having access with? Let's say, Charles, it was at least 20 that we on deployment. Oh, wow. 20 what? 20 months? Let us know how long you're talking. Let us know. That's what we want to know. Who have access to your information when you're filing claims? So we say, okay, let me see what you got here. I'm just curious if I get the 100% with my secondary claims and I'm already TDIU because right now I'm only 90%. Does that mean that you be 200%? No. So if you actually end up getting a scalar rating, so I'm gonna have to break down the difference between a scalar rating, okay, and one based on extra scalar rating. When you have TDIU, that's an extra scalar rating. If you get disabilities that add up to 100%, you no longer need extra scheduler where the VA pay you for a form of unemployability. You're not 100%, but they pay you at 100%. Once you actually have the numbers add up to 100%, you're just 100% permanent total. Tell me if I'm making sense. Do that make sense? TDIU mean you're not at 100%. You are at either 60 to 90%. But your condition is so severe you cannot work, thus make you unemployable. But that is a permanent rating. Okay? If you get some other conditions that add up to 100%, well, now you are actually scared you're 100%. You are, but won't that affect some of my SMCs? Now, I don't know because it's not clear what you're asking. Let me know. Underway replenishment. Oh, underway replenishment fields at sea. Okay, J. Oliver, I didn't know. That's why I was wondering what it was called. Now, listen to what he say. Charles said, Betty Bop's shipmates like physics. You can't fight Mother Nature. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. if you in close quarters, you got to just run. Charlton, run. Huh? Yeah. What was the name of that ship? That first truly integrated ship doing Desert Storm? What they call it? So many women were getting pregnant on there. They call it the what? Put the name in the chat if y'all remember. I heard about that. I really enjoyed y'all family. We about to get out of here. Tell us what the weather is like where you at. I had to water my grass. Don't want it to burn up. Is it raining? It was hot today. What and in particular, what's the temperature? Family, I thank y'all for coming through. I don't know if we're gonna do a live stream tomorrow, but keep it up. And we appreciate y'all. Tell me what that temperature is. Any last comments, comments, or concern, let us know. Let us know. That's what they called it. The Love Boat. I remember that when I was in Desert Storm. Now tell us what the temperature where you at. My temperature is 85 degrees here in the Houston area. The high was 97. All right. Let's see what we got, fam. Thank y'all so much. Betty says 74 degrees in Maryland. Then we have George. George says 65 degrees and cloudy. Thank you so much. And congratulations for your wife getting put on your benefits. Great thing. Now, Charlton say, make sure other things. I don't know what your percentage is, but make sure other benefits that y'all qualify for you get. If you're 100%, make sure you get an ID card and y'all get a tax exemption on the house if your state offers that. Charlton says 74 degrees in Pennsylvania. You say, thank you. You're welcome, brother. Jimmy Elmore say 90 degrees in Shreveport. The high was 104. Wow. It gets hot down here in the South. Along that Gulf Coast. 87 degrees in Georgia. Man, did you get any rain? Now look at Benny, 81 degrees in Sacramento. He's sitting back in the cut. Now let's George say thank you. Of course, you're welcome, my brother. We love you. The Flying Irishman says 56 in Alaska. Can y'all believe that? Huh? Are we hating on Alaska? How long y'all go without it being? Let me ask you, is that the part of Alaska you in, the Flying Irishman, where it doesn't have a night for so many days? How long is that? Somebody say LOL. We got Regathering. That's a long name. Hey, Regathering, what's going on? Show love to Regathering. Family, we're going to get ready to roll up out here, but y'all show love to Regathering, and we thank y'all for being here tonight. And I don't know if I'm going to do a live tomorrow, but keep posted. We'll let you, you'll see. We'll post it if we are. Uh-oh, didn't mean to do that. Say, Flying Irishman, I can wear my cute boots and fall outfits. Let's say good night to everybody, family. Yes, indeed. And say hi to her. Say, love you, bros. Okay, no problem at all. Good to see you. Hello, Regathering. Yes, indeed. Been in the 90s, feel like 100% here in Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah, I was in Kentucky. Where's Fort Knox near? Is that near Louisville or that other part of Kentucky? Fort Knox is close to what part of Kentucky? Now, Scrapes, oh yeah, I got that. All right. Night all. Let's say good night. George say night all. Yes, indeed. Let's say good night, family, because we need to encourage each other. And you know, it's so good to see you. Did we do it tonight? I talked about it, gave my story, and we're going to talk about Navy people. We're going to talk about certain MOSs. We're going to talk about Marines. We're going to talk about certain bases, and you get to tell your story about that. Send in things if you like to talk. Send it to our email if you have certain things that you want to talk about, like you would like to share, and if we're able to put it into a program, you can do so. like you want to talk about a certain base or things like that, or what you did in the military. Because I'm really interested in Charlton being an electrician, because he said he worked on ships too. H-Town Vet, Northside at gmail.com. Any suggestions, send it there. Now look, Benny say, good night, everyone. It's Radcliffe. Okay. Flying Irishman say, night, everyone. Yes, indeed. Then Betty say, H-Town, get some blessed and restful sleep. Have a beautiful Tuesday. I'll do that, and I want y'all to do the same. Now, Charlton says, good night, family, and take care, shipmate Betty Bob. That's what I'm talking about. Then regather and say, good night, all. Yes, indeed. Join us, family. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate it. And you can click on those notifications so you can join the family when we're doing this thing. And thank for the donation from tonight from Kev and whoever else donated. If I didn't get you, I apologize. Thank you, Kev, for that. Now, all helps and all the blessings, even your support in the chat and encouragement helps. Betty say, Charleston, Z, have a blessed evening and stay out of the attic. Now, Scrappy Guy says about 35 miles outside of Louisville in Hardin County. Okay. Now, Betty Bob say, now, am I wrong, or was Abraham Lincoln born in Kentucky? Because I went to his birth house, and it was a creek, or like a well down there in the Bible and everything when I was in basic training. So isn't Kentucky or close by? I forget where we were at. Betty Bob say, good night all and have a blessed and beautiful week. Fort Knox near Radcliffe, Kentucky. Okay. Radcliffe. Injuries incurred by VA with surgery or medication. Yes, that's a serious one too. Charles said, Betty Bob's, I'll spend next month or so 3 angels take care of me. Yes, indeed. Well, you make sure you hear the angels helping you on this side of the game. Don't go nowhere. Abraham Lincoln was born in Kentucky. Yeah, I went to his birthplace. I got pictures of it. One day I'm going to show it to you. I was in basic training. I'm going to show it to you. Now, family, I want to say thank you. I figured we were still in Kentucky. You know, I wasn't from that area, so I didn't know. Thank y'all, family, letting us share our story, honoring Desert Storm veterans, and we're going to honor Navy veterans, Vietnam veterans, GWOT veterans, peacetime veterans. We're going to honor everybody here, and we love y'all. And we want to say thank you. Uh-oh, I did something. We appreciate you, and we thank you for joining us tonight, and good night, everybody. And we're going to see you on the next one. Lincoln was in Hardin County. Yes, indeed. I saw his childhood Bible in the house we grew up in. I was sitting out there. So take care, family. And the statistics had me do this because I was really touched about, my Desert Storm, coming to grips with a lot of it. And this was extremely therapeutic, being able to talk about. I know it seemed like a simple topic, but thank you for letting me share. And other Desert Storm veterans and Gulf War era veterans, thank you. And all peacetime veterans, Vietnam, everybody. We love you. World War II and Korea. They're still doing the work. And we're going to see you next time. We want to say good night, family. Keep your notifications on in case we do the video for tomorrow. We may or may not. Good night. We love y'all.